corner. It is the final match, the grand final of the third season of the year of 2020 for the Let's Play Live Pro League. And what an electric season it has been. Obviously, this is week number 8 now. We've been back and forth, up and down. And funnily enough, you know, we had 3 teams that we were keeping our eyes on during this competition. Rooster, Chiefs, and Avant. With Avant being the team that most of the others spoke about as being, you know, the favorite going into this all. There has been a couple of, like, slight roster shifts, I guess, as we've been moving around and seeing it all go on. But obviously, with Chiefs coming in from the upper bracket, they're actually going to be sitting at the 1-map advantage going into this best of 5. Of course, that is a massive, massive difference as Avant are going to have to obviously win 3, whereas the Chiefs only need to take 2 to close out the series. Now, it was only a little while ago that we saw the Chiefs stumble at the finish line in the IM Beijing-Haidian qualifiers, where they did actually lose to Vertex in a similar situation. They had the best of 1 advantage, but then obviously it was reverse sweep, so it does happen. It's not something that happens very often, but when we see it, it makes for a very explosive final, and what better, you know, the grand final right now. Who are we going to be seeing walking away with that juicy 6.5k? Of course, everyone's winners, you know, 2nd place and 1st place inside this matchup. But let's check at the rosters. You know, of course, it's going to be the Chiefs. They're still trying to find their 5th. They will have Yam slot in, of course, again, the coach who obviously has years of experience under his belt as a Tier 1 pro player in our region, who has then obviously taken the time to coach the Chiefs. Then if we look at Avant, they've had a little bit of a roster swap. So Humongous came away from Avant to join the Chiefs back, and Ofnu was the exact same to join his boy APOC on the Avant roster. Now, talking head-to-head matchups, what we're sort of expecting, I'm going to be looking very much towards Hazard and Vexite, and then, of course, APOC and Sterling, the AWP. Super important to see how it all does fare. But, guys, regardless of result tonight, I want to say a big thank you to Let's Play Live and, of course, all the production, the talent throughout all the different competitions that we have on this platform. It's been an honor to be a part of it for the entirety of the year. It's been a rough one. Coronavirus did hurt us a little bit. And whilst we don't have a LAN, let's have a very, very exciting time. And keep safe, guys, so we can make sure that we do get a LAN in 2021. So I'm not going to keep you guys for much longer. Let's dig straight into this grand final. Thank you all for supporting me and Dion on Conk Moto, and of course, the Let's Play Live League. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the server. Peace. Getting toyed with right now. Humongous next guy. Oh my word! This is just decimation right now. The Chiefs.
I reckon they might get 1 map.
I mean, I ain't an insurance person. That's what I shot from April got actually.
But that's about it.
Hugh very much in a one-on-done situation. He's letting it out though. He has cleared it. Oh my god, Humongous!
A map advantage can go away really fast.
But now it's 10 seconds. Hazard has to do something. Hazard has to do something. He's denied. No, the bomb's been planted. He's not going to check the line, or he will.
could even give you false confidence as the team that's getting the advantage.
Is Sterling going to go for this? He fakes the plan, he fakes it indeed, and Sterling has found it.
Look, they're all very sharp players. I don't really see any of them as threats.
Backside's rotation around, as you mentioned it. He could look to just deny
They're going to line up.
He sees them all.
Backside!
Phenomenal!
I think we're playing pretty aggressive, pretty explosive CS at the moment. So yeah, pretty aggressive. One of them.
And B just as good. And if you give too much time, APOC, hang on, just a second. Do not win this round, APOC. I will lose my mind. If you do, the flashback comes over. Oh my God! 3 HP! Spiller, who's gonna find it? APOC!
Watch out for my boy EM. He's a beast on the stick.
We've got 20 seconds
I don't know.
What was he doing here?
Let's Play Live Season 3 2020. Let's get it. Now the defense onto this B-bomb side. Bogeyman with 3, 4 against a really good team as well. Look at that nade. Chris, they're just going to line up.
Making Skyfire really sort of sweat for it. That's Bowie.
Bit of a steamroll. As there we go. Oh, Medic, he's going to make so much cash this round. They have to go. They have to get out on this A site now. BZ. Great shot. Holding it down. BZ. Chelios going for that aggressive play and it pays off. This is, oh my word!
Jordan, everybody, and a gracious welcome to you all to the grand final of Season 3 here in LPL Pro CSGO. My name is Matt Smite Ross, and I'll be guiding you through the grandest of finals tonight between the best teams in the Oceanic region. Now, of course, getting to the grand final is a lot of hard work for not just the players, but all of us here as well, so we can't do it alone. So we have to send out a big shout out to the sponsors that make this all possible. Of course, Red Bull, Vodafone, Conquer, WD Black, and Extrafy, all absolute legends making this happen. Now guys, if you are just joining us, or maybe you've been along for the whole time, let's remind everyone how we got here, how we have a grand final at the end of the day. We've had 12 teams, but now we're down to 2 here in the grand final. And of course, it was a double elimination bracket the whole way. But both of these teams, they've only got 1 life left. But going through the winners bracket has secured the Chiefs 1 extra win in the series. However, we'll get to that in just a moment. Of course, once we got to the top 3, that's where the real matches started to begin. But of course, it's all about tonight and that prize money. Of course, you're looking at first and you're looking at second. Both teams are already locking in those numbers. But they all want that one at the top, that $6,500. That's a difference of $5K. Imagine what you can do with all of that. But guys, that's what's on the line for the teams. But over the whole season, players have been working very hard individually as well to shine and stand out in our region. Of course, the first one that they could do that for was the Vodafone MVP award. Now, of course, tonight's matches will also be considered into that, so we're not going to be able to tell who it is because it's so close until after the grand final. And this one, of course, will be awarding the player $250 for themselves to walk away with. Now, there's one other way that these players have been able to earn some accolades throughout the season, and that is the Red Bull fan vote. This one's appealing to the viewers, to the cool guys at home behind the camera screen that I'm looking at right now, the big brains that love CSGO, and these players have been appealing to you, and well, the voting has closed. We know who has won, but it's a secret, and you're not going to find out until after the grand final to find out who's going to win not just $500, not just a Red Bull fridge, but a whole year's supply of Red Bull as well. So make sure you're sticking around to the very end of the show to find out who's taking that one away. Now, before we get into things as well, don't forget about the Esports Assessment Lab as well, because, man, this is a cool little test you can be taking here. !EAL in the Twitch chat to find out a little bit more information about it. But basically what it is a test you can go on, test your brain, and find out how it works in esports. Find out where you're good, where you maybe need a little bit of work, and you can find out your path maybe into CSGO Pro next season. But, of course, you can even compare it with other results. You can find out how you compare to players like Ruffleco, who've taken the test as well. So see how you compare. Use our code LPL Gaming in all caps, no spaces, to give it a try for free. Now guys, like I've been saying the whole time, it's grand final time And this is not going to be something I can do alone. I'm going to need to pull in some help. And who else but the best gentlemen I've been having along here all season, Conky and Komodo. Get in here, show me how you look. Oh, look at you both. You look so grown up. It's so good to have
dressed
you here.
me as nicely as possible.
Well, she did a fantastic job. And look, Komodo, whoever dressed you also did an excellent job too. But boys, we're here. We're here at the grand final at long last. But man, it's been a journey not just for us, but for the teams themselves. So let's just talk about how both Chiefs and Avant managed to get here.
Well, look, I just wanted to give a little bit of a, pre-introduction to the show. I wanted to give a massive shout out to every single person that's been a part of this season. Players, talent, teams, managers, staff, production, everyone that's been involved in this one. Thank you so much, because it's been an incredible time, and you guys are what made this show so great. So, Avant and Chiefs, the final two are here. I'm keen to get some high-tier CS going right now.
Yeah, look, it's been a long journey for them, Komodo, but look, let's start off with the Chiefs. Look, invited team, a big favorite for the finals, but how was their journey to make it here?
Yeah, they're the team that get the advantage coming into this grand final. They went through that whole top bracket run, not having to break through in the lower gauntlet like Avant have. They did drop some maps through the season, of course. Downfall was able to take off one from the Chiefs, but really, that was it. They've gotten a pretty clean ride into this grand final, all things considered.
So, look, Conky, we're looking at maybe an unstoppable team coming through the winners bracket, only dropping a team to Downfall, and that was ages ago. So, look, are these guys going to be able to be stopped tonight?
Yeah, look, this one's going to be an exciting one. I think just overall, obviously both of these teams have been putting in the work. They both had some roster changes. Chiefs still yet to be finalised, but still putting up results regardless. So, Chiefs, hopefully they're going to be really, really pumped coming into this one. They've got one match advantage. But then obviously, when we look at the Avant, and they actually just took down Order in a reverse sweep in the MBL Grand Finals last night to take that one out. I know Dion was live for 12 hours or something with technical difficulties and all the hype to go along with it. But so Avant, if they've got the momentum coming in from the back of that, they could really go huge here and potentially upset the Chiefs. They've already gone through one reverse sweep. Sorry, no, they had the one map advantage. Regardless, they won a best of 5. That's what I'm trying to get to. Maybe they can do it again here tonight.
Yeah, well, guys, look, Chiefs are going to be coming in with a 1-win advantage thanks to their journey through the winners bracket as well. So already, ground zero, like you said, they're going to be a little bit up against the wall. But look, they made it here at the end of the day. So both teams certainly have earned this spot. And man, I think we saw this one just a few seconds ago in the highlights. That was a monster moment. But look, guys, here it is. This is what we've been doing for the last, month and a half? These teams have worked so hard, but we've only got 2 left. So, before we zero in on the grand final, guys, do you have anything you want to look at here to maybe reminisce about?
It's one of those interesting things, right? Because you've got all those invited teams that we see in here. Of course, Ground Zero being one of them, knocked out relatively early in the piece. That was to Avant. You had Paradox, trying to solidify their run being in LPL for quite a while. Likewise for Rooster, who were trying to find some more back-to-back grand final wins. Unfortunately, Avant did best them out with a little bit of the complications along the run. But Chiefs, another invited team, their first entry point into this season, and they are able to swiftly go through that top bracket with a map advantage now into the grand final. If you look at where we are right now in the expectation of which teams would go to that quote top 3, I guess we were on the money on which teams they were, but for who would have gotten into the grand final, it's a bit of a toss of the coin, a little bit of a shake up, but it's where we are right now. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah, well, while we prepare the grand final, let's take a reminder of what both of these teams do look like. We've seen them in video form. Let's see them in picture form now, because they're bringing some strong lineups, like you guys have been saying. Conky, you've mentioned that, the Chiefs, they haven't even really finalized their roster completely yet, but they've been pumping out the results entirely. So, what does that mean for a team to be able to do that and still manage to win?
Chiefs have got the trump card, man. To be able to play with Yam, obviously. He took a step back away from the game a little while ago, but he has been playing on, top teams around the world. I think he's played in majors and things like that as well, as a part of, Tainted Minds. He was obviously a part of the original Renegades core when they first moved over to NA and everything. So he's had a very, very painted and ticketed history across Australia, which is awesome. So, he's not exactly going to be under-equipped for the team. But I guess the main thing is whether or not they're going to be like full steam ahead in their focus in prac, because when you don't have that 5, it's kind of like, well, we know we're going to probably make a couple of changes when Yan is no longer a part of the team. So maybe that'll happen. Maybe that's a part of it. Who really knows? But at the end of the day, they're still a really, really solid team, and I think they go in really strong with their 5 with Yan.
All right, well, I mean, look, we can take a closer look as well here at their lineup. Here it is in all its glorious beauty here. The Chiefs, Apoc, Dud, Zeph, Humongous, Vexite, and Yam, the coach stepping in for the team. Now, boys, this lineup, I mean, we've already said quite a lot about it so far, but Komodo, let's expand a bit here. What are they going to do to crush Avant?
I think they just need to play like we saw them in the last time, Vexite going absolutely massive on all of those flanks, getting out those multi-frags, Apoc, Dud to, come in hot into this series. Will definitely need to be primed and ready with that AWP. And the rest of the guys as well, just got to do what they need to do. Get them entries, get those trade frags, and make sure everybody is supporting everyone. Okay, and now, of course, Avant Gaming. These guys made it all the way through the lower bracket to come back and challenge the Chiefs for the grand final. Apoc, Offnu, Sterling, Versa, and Hazza. I mean, we've heard these names all screamed out by Conky throughout the season, so they've got to be good. But Conky, I mean, look, who are we looking at to show up tonight?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good team, I guess you could say that, but look, a bunch of really, really cool guys. Obviously the duo of Apoc and Offnu back in the full fold. Sterling and Hazza, they've been together for a little while now and, really putting up some solid results. Versus come into the frame more recently as like one of those newer sort of trump card players. He's still getting in there, still feeling it out, and certainly getting his experience under this Avant banner. But look, man, it's a really, really so I think given the momentum that they've got from last night, they should come into this one firing.
All right, well, I asked you who we got to keep our eyes on to show up tonight, but let's take a look at 2 other players. They're going to be looking to show up here in the grand final, both Yam and Offnu. Now, perhaps not someone like the entry fraggers, the guys who are going to be top fragging, but I mean, look, these guys have got to step up for their teams tonight in the grand final. So, Komodo, I mean, look, can the coach step up to Offnu?
Definitely. I think it's with no doubt in my mind. The reason we put these 2 players in the head-to-head, is because they've been on rosters together and they've been on rosters against each other. You look at this, ex-teammates exactly on that Tainted Mind squad. You had Offnu and Yam together there. You move on forward. They battled each other when Offnu was on that Winter Fox lineup and you had Yam on that Renegades lineup. So a lot of history between these 2 players. So coming into it tonight, under different banners with different names, they're still going to be the same players, given their all to try and take out the trophy.
All right, gentlemen, $5,000 are going to be on the line tonight between second and first place. You want to crack that $6.5K at first place. So we've got to talk about this. It's a best of 5 now. That's different to what we've seen throughout the whole season. The 1 map lead that Chiefs is going to start off with means that they're only going to have to pick up 2 wins. So what kind of a difference does that make, Conky?
Well, it's very rare. Like, you'll actually notice that it quite often doesn't go to that full 5 or anything along those lines. It is quite typically not always like a 2-0, but maybe like a 2-1, which obviously then leads to 3-1. It's not an all-the-time thing. Also, Robot Conky, I don't know why he's coming in like this, but we'll fix that, by the way. I'll tell the hamsters that are running my router to fix it after. But anyway, if we think about it, it does actually give a massive, massive advantage to go in with that 1 map advantage. So I think if they continue on with that momentum, obviously they've got to be hungry because they do sometimes slip and fall against teams like Avant. This one means a lot for the Chiefs to win.
All right, well, we've got to talk about the maps that we're going to be going to as well, like best of 5, so could potentially be seeing up to 5 maps. But before we even start talking about those, you guys, we've got to think about the journey that both of these teams have gone through to get here, and also how they're feeling about the match before going into such an important grand final.
So we've got a 1 map advantage in a best of 5 in the grand final. It automatically gives us a massive advantage. So coming into this final, we're extremely confident.
I think we can come out strong and probably win 3-1. We got to keep on our toes though, because they've got that map advantage, and they can take the lead very fast, instantly. So it's very important we get that first map, and then we'll go from there.
We haven't had much chance to practice this week because we've been having games constantly. Not really going too in depth because we're still sort of searching for our 5th.
I reckon it could be pretty close. You can never count them out, They're a good team, we're not just going to walk over them. They have sharp players, so yeah, it could be some close games.
To be honest, we're just going to go in to the grand final pretty loose. We're just going to see how it goes, and we're just going to play to the best of our abilities.
I think Zeph and Vexite have like big potential to have massive games, you know. They're very high fraggers, a lot of impact. So we did have that one loss against Rooster because we had to use Raz as a sub, you know. That was when like we didn't know what was happening with the team, so it was pretty shaky, but we've recovered from it.
This season's been great. Honestly, this has been one of the best LPL seasons I've played. Even though I've played in 2 different teams, and the season has been great. It's honestly been a very well-run league, and there's been some very interesting games, and yeah, it's been great.
It has been great. I think that's a really good way to put it, right? The season has delivered for sure, and now we've got these teams feeling pretty confident, but also, I mean, just to put it in their words, feeling pretty loose coming into the grand final, at least on the Chiefs side. So boys, I mean, we'll bring the maps up while we talk about it, but I mean, I love the confidence coming from the teams, but you got to feel the love for the game coming out from both of them too.
Ooh, what do you reckon? What do you reckon, Komodo?
Okay, so going back on yesterday's final that I casted between Avant and Order, it actually ended on the 5th map. So as you were saying earlier, Mitch, rarely goes into the 5th. It went to that 5 maps between them with the map advantage from Avant. The final decider was Mirage, and it went into overtime to see who was going to win it. So in it coming out early, I think that is a really good thing for Avant if they can topple this over. But I also love that in that the video earlier that we saw from Humongous, you know, he mentioned that they're going to go for a bit of a loose style because Chiefs, you know, are very fluid and momentum-based team. You generally don't see them go on those like stacked plays time and time again and just stay in solid form. They need to play loose, and they need to play like unexpected, because that's how they shine.
Well, guys, we might have to wait a little while before we talk about anything like Dust 2 or Inferno, because map 1 is ready to go. Mirage is ready to go. So strap yourselves in. It's the grand final. And let's see who's going to be taking it out here, or at least getting a head start on map number 1. Let's go to Mirage, Conky and Komodo.
Here we go, baby. It is your Let's Play Live Pro League Grand Finals, the potential last map. Well, I think it is actually the last match of the year for us. The Konkomodo duo coming through, Smite along with us, and now we have the Chiefs versus Avant. It has been an electric year, an electric season. It's been very important for us all to take care of each other, and I think we have done that. And now we go in with map number 1. Mirage, take it away, Moto.
And the map coming out from the likes of Avant is going to be the Chiefs starting off on that CT side. A lot of players to come out from Avant, very experienced, well versed in this map. And the pistol, they are providing in towards the A side with a little bit of the util going on. Down Hazard on the famous P250. We'll start things off by finding Humongous. So I do like from Chiefs having 2 under the balcony. Very expected Hazard for a second one right now. Vexite, he is very, very capable of doing something, though being taken out. This pistol is going very flawlessly for Avant.
Yeah, pretty much everyone's gone down now. It's all onto Yam in a 1 versus 5, which is not exactly something you'd be expecting to see. Avant were just straight out there, you know, able to trade very, very quickly, and, well, not even trade, you know, just sort of double up and find the frag. So now Yam, he pretty much just has to wait and see if anything will sort of make its way towards him, as he just does sit and lay wait inside CT. They're not really going for it either. I mean, Sterling is trying to, you know, toy with the idea now, but given the way he's been playing, it might just not quite happen. Yam does spot out 1. At least he's able to do some sort of... But, you know, with the bomb being planted, every single member sort of going away around now. You can see that they're trying to die, but they have lined up a little bit. Yeah, can't quite find the header versa, but there it will be. A little bit of a interesting first round, but nonetheless, Avant will take it, and that is exactly the momentum they need to start off this game, obviously at the 1 map disadvantage.
Yeah, and they're going to have to roll with this one as well. In my mind, maybe they want to take this one with a massive difference in the scoreline in that final bit. You know, they want to win this 16 to maybe not even double digits to be seen on the Chiefs, because in that map disadvantage, you know, it is them that needs to try to equalize it first and really just try to get out a clean sweep. You said that, or we heard that Avant are going to try and take this 3-1, that they are wanting to. You know, Chiefs not going to drop a map as well. Everybody trying to just feel out and see who's going to be able to take this. But when it comes down to it, the possibility of seeing all the maps in this grand final here, Mitch, you think about it, it is possible.
So how are they going to play this? Of course, with APOC going down to APOC, well, the other way around, APOC taking down APOC Dud, we'll have to see with the 4 remaining members of the Chiefs what damage they're going to be able to do. Of course, with those Deagles, you know, we have seen plenty a big play, but more so, I suppose, on the actual Avant side. But nonetheless, you know, Zeph, obviously, Vexite, super, super sharp players. I'm keen to see potentially a big game out of Humongous. That's what I'm really hoping for. You know, he's been like the golden boy that's sort of come in and really given Chiefs some extra stuff to work with. And I really do feel like once they find that final player, the fifth, it will just completely rocket Chiefs forward, you know, allowing Yam the comfort to get back into that coaching role and really mentor the players as need. That's a great smoke.
Oh,
that is a very good smoke from Zeph, being able to isolate, dropping Sterling and Hazard. Now Yam, he's up on the... Oh no, that almost actually caught them off guard, but Vexside, he's still alive. And you know how much damage this young fella can do. There we go. Vexside, all he needs is one more. It is just APOC on his lonesome. 1 versus 2. Humongous is rocking up as well, and that is the damage dealt. But, oh, here, now we know. 1 versus 1, and there is the shot from Humongous. This is why you put focus on the young, sharp players, Zeph and Vexside. 2 digs apiece, and that is the second round for the Chiefs. Well, the first in the second.
And you can never count out, if you do find the pistol, that you'll find the second one as well. And that's exactly why you know your opponents are at a weakened state. That's why we optimally see CT teams force up in that second round and see what they can find in that said second round. But into the third now, the force back is being provided by Avant. They'll try to do what Chiefs just did to them, I guess a little bit better if possible. But the starting frag does go to the way of the Chefs, trying to cook up a storm right now. Avant just looking for some damage. It's not really even coming through, unfortunately. Everybody's been split in the mix. Avant just trying to find a little bit of a lurking frag. All of these split engagements going the way of the Chiefs, and yeah, it definitely is looking clean for them right now.
Yeah, good start here. Much better, you know, from the way that Avant sort of played it the round a little bit slower. I suppose Chiefs, they're happy to take that aggressive control and really find the frags necessary to get the momentum up, because obviously it's hugely important for as many members as possible to live on APOC. Doesn't need to lose to APOC here. And he won't. He's happy to pick up 3. And this is where the Chiefs really start to sort of, you know, solidify their bank accounts and establish a good economy into the start of the CT half. The defense, obviously, it can be very, very challenging to manage to maintain that economy situation. And, you know, all of them pretty much with above that 2.5K mark, aside from Zeph and Yam, they're going to be sitting pretty. You know, obviously now Avant, they have to go in with a gentle eco. If Chiefs hold on to 5 players again, that will put them into a really solid position into the 5th, where Avant will be able to finally go for that full buy. So let's see how the rest of the round pays out, as Yam's already gone up top mid to do some damage on the first.
Yeah, just a bit of a bonus round to come through from the Chiefs. PRC again, if Avant can find any kills, get extra money into their back pockets for when they do buy up in the next round. It's, I guess, a little bit interesting that Yam actually has decided to purchase that MP9. I understand it, you know, get that extra money off the submachine gun, look to just run around, stir a little bit of that pot, but if he stayed down on a lesser weapon, could have potentially got out the AWP for the Chiefs in the next round if they shuffled everything through. But the longevity of the game, you know, we're definitely going to see the AWPs be brought out by both of these squads. Zeph is just going to mow 3 down and find the bomb in the process. Offnu, the last soldier for the Avant side. Don't really see a world where he wins against Zeph here. And there it is, the 4K padding those stats. But this ultimately does mean now that Avant are going to be able to purchase up all these AKs. No AWP for Sterling, though. A little bit of utility behind themselves as well. But are they going to be able to break in towards this map nice and early?
Time is now. Avant, if they're able to do this damage, obviously will set Chiefs back a small amount. But look at this already. Early on, the members of the Chiefs going to be trying to take straight away that mid-control, or at least underpass. Yes, they will. APOC has already made his way out, but with that smoke top mid, they definitely wouldn't have been able to spot him. And APOC, oh, that's a good flash. That is a very good flash. And now he has the information. Even looking top mid, but the aggression wasn't quite necessary. Versus also picked up one for his troubles as well. Quite a really, really solid start from the Chiefs there. You know, they had the tactical decision to be able to move in that way towards underpass and taking mid control, and also the swing up from the flashbang was a really, really good way to start out the round. But then obviously Avant were able to recapitalize. Yam, will he be spotted out by APOC? No, he quite won't. There we go. Takes a lot of damage, but at least he's able to find the frag. And now it's Offnu and Sterling making their way out onto A and a 2 versus 3 situation.
And they've only got that single flashbang to work with for Offnu right now. They're going to be very vulnerable when they go to get this plant and in an open stance as well. Looking over towards CT, it will be Offnu, but I do like that the Chiefs aren't choosing to go in for the fight. They know that Yam is quite low in that position. He has a lot of utility to work with in this round. You'll see Vexside over at that short location. Will wait for the smoke to fade on Connector. will go up through towards jungle, clear all the corners that'll be possible. Time ticking away. Offnu spotting out towards CT. Sterling finds backside though. The flank is covered, and now both bodies are seen. Offnu's good for one. It's into the 1v1 between Sterling and Humongous. Ex-teammates right now being brought forward. Shots to come on through Sterling. Bomb planted for him. Tap away from Humongous. Can stick it, but he's not going to be given the chance. And, well, that's just going to be the round right now. A bit of a chance, but Sterling is just toying with him.
All right, well, in the end, it's one thing that Avant always seems to be very, very good doing is, winning from, I guess, a disadvantaged situation. There, again, it was a 3 versus 2, and ultimately that was where Avant were able to shine. And now the Chiefs, they've got to buy. It's a more comfortable one. This time they don't have the FAMAS, they don't have the MP9. They're going to be moving in with the rifles, with the AWP for APOC Dud. Whereas on the other side, we see Avant having to only pick up the 3 Galils and the 2 AKs to go around it in the hands of Hazard and Sterling. Very equipped. That's what they're going to need to use, but ultimately there's going to be a nade coming up to the top mid. Hazard might get tickled, so will Sterling, but nothing else really. For the time being, it's just going to be sort of settled towards, 2 in just outside connector. It is only the solo player B, which will be interesting to see how that one does fare during the latter rounds in the half. But for the time being, Yam's pretty happy to sort of sit up short, play the information rotator position, and just wait until any further control from Avant attempts to come out. They will move into underpass and sort of solidify top mid, but with that lurk from Offnu inside Palace, may very well be an A split later on in the round.
One of the things I noticed from covering a lot of Avant games recently is that they need to adapt into these rounds. A lot of their rounds, they take way too long, and time ticks down to 20 seconds, 15 seconds before they look to do anything. So coming into this grand final, I would love to see some more aggression and some more time be left on that clock when they do solidify where they want to go. So in this new round, they were stretching out through mid, waiting to see if Chiefs were going to be doing anything, and now on the back of several engagements, the Chiefs are just finding and knocking down all these extremities. The entry points in towards A, and Avant just walked straight in towards their crosshairs. You didn't really see anyone on the Chiefs there kind of budging from the standard positions. They were just looking where they needed to, and Avant were waltzing straight in towards their crosshairs.
Dude, my cat has this habit of running up to me like hell excited, and then the second I put my hand out to pet him, he just runs away. Is this how love feels? Is this heartbreak? Maybe. We'll have to find out. But for the time being, Avant are going to find out what an eco feels like after the Chiefs were able to recover very, very well. And they didn't really change up a whole lot. Just having that one member towards B, ultimately Avant trying to make their way on the split A just got taken down. And it was a very clean round from Chiefs. It didn't feel like, there was a lot of pressure that was put onto them or anything like that, only losing the one member. So that's a really, really good spot for them to be in here. Whereas Avant, I guess they're going to have the full comfortable buy. It looks like Hazard is saving up enough money that he can buy up the AWP for Sterling into what will be the 8th round. That's Vexite spotting out. Does get dinked up in the process. A little bit spooky. APOC with the pop is also spotted. Molly will force him away. So yeah, look, Avant really not a whole lot they can do. They haven't even invested the pistols or anything along those lines. So for now, it's just APOC. He's going to get rushed in by Humongous. Only has the Glock. He's ready for it. We'll find the frag. And the Chiefs with a clean 5th. And now look at the money, Dion. Clearly, invested in the right shares here because apparently it's all gone up. They're keeping a close eye on the US election, and they've made the right choice here. Let's see if they can at least maintain into the next couple of rounds as Avant. They've got another full buy back into it, but the X Factor, Sterling, he's got that all.
Yeah, Avant are going to try and make Chiefs cash out now if things look to go awry and make sure they get all that weaponry out of their hands. Ultimately, Avant are going to try to chase out these rounds. 6 on the T side would be okay for them, but we know that they want to try and run up for more. Not too much utility for them to work with on this T side right now either, which could be a little bit unfortunate. But in the lower tunnels, in underpass, APOC done. Going to get flashed off the mark. He will be seen starting to get a little bit punished on through as Hazard finds Zep. This is the 3-man approach from Avant in unders. They eventually find the 2 kills, and that actually steers in a big advantage for Avant in this round. Though, look at the control Chiefs are now trying to gain back. They've already pushed all the way 2 players through T-spawn. It's going to be Sterling lurking with the AWP in mid, but the remainder of the squad is up in the departments.
Well, before the execute comes out, Dion, I just want to say, though, right, Chiefs try to take aggressive control and Avant punish it. Whereas they play the opposite, a little bit more passive, and Avant don't really know what to do. And there we go. There's another frag picked up by Hazard onto Yam, and all of a sudden it's on Humongous and Vexite. They're running straight into off, who should get the information immediately. There we go. Very, very clean round from Avant. It's something that they're so good at doing, adapting and overcoming. And it was almost like when the Chiefs didn't do anything, Avant didn't know how to react. They were so ready for the aggression and couldn't punish it in this position. But now, the second we switch it up, and all of a sudden Avant have a clean round with 5 alive, which stacks their economy up now. Now the Chiefs, they're at the risk and exposure. They're going to have to sort of mitigate some loss here as they do buy into this one. They might have something to work with into the next round, but Humongous and Apoc, they're low on money. But look at this aggression from Yam. Trade up in one, not quite the second. Hazard will at least be able to trade, as he did get a little bit caught off. Humongous, what's that off to? Good control from the Chiefs. A little bit of a different play-by-play, I suppose you could say, but now they're in the single-man advantage 4 versus 3 into the 9th round.
And it's going to be up to this mid-round decisioning from Avant right now on how they're going to tackle the remainder of this one. They do have a bit of utility to throw out and execute, but not too much to gamble in for a fake and rotate straight around. Eventually, we may even see one of the Chiefs members look for some extra information. Already saw Humongous pushed up in towards the Palace area. So on this sort of 2-2 split for the Chiefs, they don't need to actually press for anything, spot out some info and let Avant just come in towards their vicinity. They've got a bit of utility to chip away at the damage. The flames, the Molotovs from Avant, you'd love to see them throw them out in towards the side, but it's going to be rifles around. They're trying to get in. They're trying to get the plant down. Vexside will find one before being traded on through. And now they have eliminated the CTs around the site, but they've got to retrieve that bomb, and they have to get it planted in this 2 versus 2.
Yeah, how do they approach this now? It can always be very, very challenging to get outside that market. There's so many things that will keep you there. A nice coffee, a good breakfast burrito, but also an orc from Sterling to lock down the line. They spot each other out, and that takes out Sterling. Taking the leg shot. Humongous has now punished him. Over-peaking, overextending is Avant. Now it's all in a Versa. The zip continues. Yes, there's one. Oh my god! Versa with the 1v2 defense. The clutch minister himself making a name inside Avant.
The last bullet just went straight towards the headshot of the remaining player, and it wasn't even like a targeted spray or anything. It looks like it was a loose bullet before the spray transfer even came into play. So I guess a little bit of luck there attributed to the RNG factor for Versa, but hey, he finds the right positioning around that bomb site, where to go, where to lock it down, and it works out. A much needed round for Avant. It does push the Chiefs onto a little bit of an eco, a bit of a half buy. You got some Deagles there, some Kevlar as well. If they can retrieve a weapon from the Avant crew, they might be able to do some damage with it, but definitely we will on paper be looking at a 5-5 half or scoreline tied up before we get another Chiefs buy-in.
It's always rough, the harsh mistress that is the CT-sided economy puts you in a very awkward situation. But again, Vexite, he's going to have money to buy up the AWP, or whether it be Apoc or Yam. I wouldn't actually mind seeing that double AWP setup on the, CT side of Mirage. It does fare quite handsomely. But at least the Chiefs are ready for this one. They've got 3 members in towards CT. Zeph inside connector. And just with that one lurk from Versa, it hasn't actually found a whole lot of information as of yet. Zeph's watching towards mid. Sterling will open up, though. That's a big flash to come through, and there's the damage. Up on Palace, though. The top fight can't flip through, but you know how good Vexside is. Now here's Zeph, almost. But in the end, it will be Avant picking up their 5th. They've certainly been dismantled a little bit. And now, the Chiefs, they're going to be able to buy straight back into this. The good thing is Sterling, Versa, they still have plenty of money to work with, but this is a tied-up game and exactly what you're wanting to look at in the opening map of this final, the grand final, the last, likely, I believe it's actually going to be the last LPL match of the year. How crazy is that to think about? The 2020 is almost coming to a close.
I'm just hoping for a LAN circuit next year. Get back into the
Dude, 6 days
happening as
6
well.
days, double donuts. Yeah, that's a Victoria, dude.
We'll see if I can leave my bedroom. Hey. Apoc is going to start things off with a kill onto Zeph by his lonesome self. Hazard will get a swing out. Vexside good for 1, but the bomb can now go down at this B site, and the Chiefs are going to go for a bit of a retake. Vexside with the kit available, but they are going to be locked out from short right now, and they're going to have to rotate in from other areas. It might even just look like that they're going to cut their losses and go for a save right now. Yeah, 3 players surviving. They can potentially, justify having those 2 players force up in the next round and see if they can work a little bit of shenanigans in the round, catch Avant off guard. I want to bring it back, though. to that previous round where the Chiefs did actually form a bit of an eco, right? They took 3 lives of the Avant side, and that's just going to give them the information that they are very capable of, even with the lesser weaponry, still having an impact onto Avant if another round will come arise just like that one. And maybe they would find a little bit of the early weaknesses of Avant, because at the early stage of this game, it kind of did feel like it, but now Avant themselves are starting to realize a little bit of the flexibility of the Chiefs as well, and are trying to direct themselves with that.
Interesting to think about. Obviously, with that save, they're going to be full comfort into this next round. They've got the bye. It's very healthy, and, it gives them a good chance. But look, if they lose this round, that's going to be Avant finding 8, which is definitely going to be a half win as well. They go for the aggressive play up towards the other side of that Molotov inside A ramp, and Sterling has at least been able to sort of, send a couple of flashbangs over and forward Alex out. Oh my god! Vexite, Versa, Apoc done frags coming all around. 1 for Avant, 3 for Chiefs, and that's left the bomb out on the platform. Very, very challenging position to pick it. Oh my god! And a great shot from Apoc done there as well. Now he looks over towards ramp, and there's a bit of a stalemate here. Sterling. That's the scary prospect, though. He finds the first pick, and now Vexite knows he doesn't need to peek. It's going to be Sterling jumping into that window. The old Classico. Where does he go with it, though? Doesn't want to break the vent. They will have that information. And Apoc done with 3. An excellent round from the Chiefs here to pick up a 6th to now tie up the scoreline again as it is. It is a tug-of-war game right now. Push and pull. And, it's living up to our expectations so far. And now that I've said that, it's going to be a 16-6 either way.
You look at the unfortunate flashbang that came out there from Sterling as well. The right positioning from the Chiefs members to get those spray downs, to get those 3 kills on the Avant crew that were up on the balcony coming out of Palace. So it did work out for the Chiefs in that round. And now for Avant, they do falter at a run boost second attempt, and Sterling will get thrown across. But he's not going to be able to find any information just yet. Zeph has been known to play from this position time and time again. And whilst we do wait out for the smokes in mid to fade, there's going to be a lot of time on that clock for Avant to sort of breathe in this round and figure out where exactly we want to go. Good timing on the flashbang. We've seen that done before. It's back to the same strategy, believe it, from the Chiefs that we saw a couple of rounds ago. But this will now get diverted into Avant's favor. That Versa has done the opener onto Apoc. That's an off down.
Yeah, good opening pick by Versa. He's been able to do really, really well on those works and fitting into his role, very, very well. And it is quite a mature role, to be able to slot into very early on and have the confidence. And it's really nice to see that his team has put him into that position so early on in the lineup. And now they've got to know that where his whereabouts are. But now flashing over, very nicely done. But Vexite will be able to recover. Now they watch towards bottom mid. Humongous. Yam, actually, he's the man that's ready for it. And the Kobe to come over from Zeph as well. All onto Sterling and Hazard, but I'll never, ever count this jaw out. Slowly walking up towards the site now. Vexite still locked inside connected. They've got 30 seconds left. Already got up the positioning, but Vexite a great shot. Sterling does recover with 1, but he has to find 3 more. I have not seen Sterling miss too many of these shots in his time, but the main thing is here they have to line it up. He might be able to find a plant here, and he should. But now this is where you play the big brain game. Use the unit, get up nice and close and humongous to lock it down. Even if Sterling found the first there, the other members of the Chiefs are up close and personal, ready to duke it out, and Chiefs take back the lead here. It is 7-6 for Mirage.
And one more for them. They will take the lead on the half, expectedly so, as the money doesn't really permit Avant a comfortable purchase right now. It is kind of nice to see that all of Avant are kind of tight together in that kill line as well. You got a little bit of an extension there from Vexite on the Chiefs. Everybody, though, on 8 for 3 of them. Zeph on 11 there. So, the team play certainly coming through from everyone in this game right now. Avant have chosen to halfway into this round with a bit of the pistol action. The Stampede is going to be heard in apartments to draw out a lot of this Chiefs utility, but in turn, Avant have thrown a lot of theirs as well. Now down comes the smoke over towards the site, flashbangs as well. Avant are just going to try and bully the Chiefs out of this B site.
How do they hold this, though? Sometimes Avant, they are a bit overwhelming. Now Yam lines up. There's a good kick from Sterling. Might be able to find something else, though. Seth's done so much damage, but Apoc will be able to find it. And there is another Kobe, the slam dunk from across the board as Apoc takes down. Apoc goes down to Apoc's guard. That's going to mess with me because it's already happened about 3 times this match. But regardless, we are in to the final round of the half. the first half of the first match in this best-of-5 grand finals. Chiefs, they've got the one map advantage, and now they have the map advantage in the half, as they've already found 8 rounds. 6 for Avant. They can at least find one more. It still is, I guess, generally a city-sided map. So if Avant gets 7, they're still certainly more than truly in it. But obviously with the Chiefs going, 9 rounds is nothing to laugh at either. Especially if they can make up the momentum. And Apoc does. He's actually pushed Wax here. And he's found one with the Deagle as opposed to the Orb. Vexite also ready to drop one as well. And now the control has been established. Avant, they pretty much have to sort of try and limp back towards to get that bomb. But look at where Apoc that is already. He might even find a frag top mid. He's going to pick up Apoc. And the bomb's still in spawn.
Yeah, the Chiefs have brought out the Iron Hammer in this round, and they're absolutely just giving a good old bonk onto Avant. That is going to conclude the half right now, and in that round, only one member of Chiefs falling down. Put it up to all of those flanks, all of those just confidence plays to come out from them. We know that Chiefs are a very confident team, and when they're on the ball, they are definitely seeing it roll very, very fast. So a 3-round gap at the half. You can see the spread on the kill margin there for both of these teams, and the collection of rounds to come through as well. There's no single round for Chiefs there. They're all followed by at least one. So navigating themselves through the game, back and forward, building up the economy to succeed in rounds time and time again. But now that the change-up is happening, are Avant going to be able to do that again, mirror that? Because we know the economy can be a fickle thing.
Yeah, definitely. Maintaining it on the city side can be a very, very challenging nature, but it's going to be Apoc to actually open up nicely. That's the momentum that you want on this city side. A good start. He does take some damage back, but now Hammer is here. The pistol man himself. Yam's able to swing and at least park his way around to drop one more, but there's Offnu now rocking up at the right time. Apoc side looking to swing around the side, drop Hazza. Vex side, he's at the bench, and he's picked up another as well. It's a 2 versus 1, but do you know who is alive? It is Versa. The AU Zipniks, one more is all he needs to find to bring this down to a 1 versus 1. They got to swing! They got to swing! And Versa, baby, you've done it again! Change his name to Armacane as he has found another round for Avant. Just, man, this guy, how?
I mentioned this yesterday as well, and on the back of my tweet the other week, I believe it might have even been after an LPL match for Avant, potentially, where they dropped all of the pistols. I said to them, maybe it's time to pick up the game, learn some more pistols, and they've just found both of them. It is kind of good that they have been able to go back to the drawing board on those sidearm rounds, and they're being able to find them, put it up to the clutches, the good team play as well. Of course, Versa, very, very, very handsome to be able to find it in that round. Another 1 versus 2 clutch, I might add, for him. Saw the spray point transfer from last time, but yeah, really, really good.
How do they go in this force buy? Not well, apparently, for the start, as Apoc will drop Zeph. So now into this 4 versus 5. What do they do with the momentum? They are going to be heading their way around towards A, but already, look at this, 4 members of Avant already available to defend and deny. Still got 1 member sitting inside the window, and that's going to be Apoc doing plenty of damage on that Famus from the other position. Vexite's not even going to hit the shot either, and going humongous. So a very, very clean round from Avant. The last time they won the pistol, the Chiefs were able to respond with the second, but this time it is not quite going to happen. So ultimately, Avant edge closer. They now have 8 rounds, only needing the 1 more, and I'm sure that they'll be able to obtain it here. Obviously, the Chiefs, they've taken the knee. They're going to sit back, wait for the full buy. Should potentially, well, at least we're going to have, the 5 AKs to come out in the next round, but Chiefs have allowed Avant to get the control back, and that is one of the things that you do quite regularly see off the back of the pistol. So it'll likely be 9-9, but there's definitely an opening pick at least towards mid, but oh my god! Oh, maybe a triple, and Apoc picks up 4.
That is certainly one way to bring a round back comfortably in your favor. You drop the opening frag, but then a single grenade, all of the licking that you've given over to the Chiefs as well. Bandages aren't going to fix that one, and little do you know, we're at a tied scoreline. But the rifles, as you mentioned here, Mitch, we do see them over on the side of the Chiefs. One thing, though, I would hope for them to, not to be doing right now is to give to Avant too much space, because we know how capable they are when they're given all of the space, on how far that they will like to roam in the map and the aggressive approach they'll like to play for. And this is what I mean, man. The flash in for Offnu, he's looking for more. He won't be provided it, but it is extra damage on the Yam, back down to the 4 HP mark, and Now it's Apoc's turn potentially to swing in towards Palace. We aren't really seeing, though, an extension out from mid from Zeph. He is by himself. He doesn't have the control there. Maybe expecting someone from Avant to push up as well. But you go back to the drawing board in the mid-round decisioning right now. Avant, they are all spreading out, and we're seeing the duo plays to come out from the Chiefs.
I like the response to actually sort of settle back for a little while because, you know, it's been really incredible to watch how solid Avant are at defending this A site. So Chiefs, you know, they take a little bit of extra time. They rotate back towards mid. They send some information over. And now ultimately they're going to go back and pick up the bomb as well. So 3 versus 2. Sterling has control of mid. I like this from Versa. Already walking up. They have so much information. But look at where they're sending it. They're actually heading. Oh, did Zeph spot him? I don't think he did. But look at the timing now. Should be able to get it completely for free. And now Avant, they've already moved over towards B, but with 30 seconds, what are they going to be able to find? Zeph Swift onto Sterling. He's going to be able to get that one for free now, and they're going to be running straight into the claws of Hazza. 1, 2, and Sterling for one more. That is a round that the Chiefs never should have lost. As Avant, they take 10.
And they take the lead back after a little bit as well. So definitely a kick in the behind for the Chiefs right now to try and get things back in a running in the game, back and get that engine running, because they're going to buy into this one with the Scout, with the Deagles, and see what chip damage they can do for themselves over towards Avant. It is one of these interesting rounds. If Chiefs do win it, you know, their economy is back into it and sort of balanced. Avant's economy is, you know, a couple of people far forward, you've got some not. There will be a buy coming in for them, of course, but this is where, you know, the Chiefs are on the back foot. It is ultimately them that will need to start to steer back into the narrative and try to claw them back. It's, you know, a slow round again to come out in the beginnings right now. A 4-man approach for the Chiefs around this A site, alert for Vex site. They have been given a lot of space, though, and room to breathe in this round from Avant.
Yeah, definitely the entry out to the A site, but a very nice shot there from Ofto. Ultimately, Humongous will be able to find one back. Good damage. Now Versa. A lot of pressure on him to try and maintain this positioning on the side, but Apoc's picked up one more. Versa will be able to tag away at the Humongous, ultimately finding the frag, and that's all on the AM, and I think that's going to be another name. How many HE grenades have we seen come through in this game so far? It's been crazy. So 11 rounds picked up by Avant. Now, ultimately, the Chiefs are going to be able to buy back in, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I can't really work out how to sort of approach this because Avant, they're just, you know, doing really well. I guess they're just really, really confident in their ability, like, to have each other watch their backs, you know, like the defense, for example, like Sterling was already market watching towards Apps whilst Hazza sat at Van, able to decimate 3, and the Chiefs, they're kind of like, you know, they're making the right sort of rotations and decisions, but then maybe they're approaching it a little bit slow, a little bit too concerned. I'm not too sure, but Avant, they've been really dominant so far in this half. There we go, as we can see on the scores. It was actually the Chiefs to win out the last 4 of the half, whereas obviously now we see Avant finding 5 consecutive on that CT side. So what are the Chiefs going to do to switch this up here? Everyone is fragging. Everyone is doing exactly what they need. Nobody lagging behind. But now we need to see Chiefs get straight back onto the horse and pull something through on this T side. Or Avant are going to just completely clear house, take the reins and just close this one out.
Yeah, it's a full loss bonus for the Chiefs right now, so they do have a little bit of extra cash to spare behind the weaponry. It was a tactical pause that came out from the Chiefs then, because as you saw, 5 rounds in a row from Avant on this CT start. It's a better start with no return yet seen from the Chiefs, unlike the flip side of the beginning of this matchup, where we saw, yes, the Chiefs ultimately finding 5 rounds, but there were 2 in the mix that Avant were able to find. And in this fresh one, we are starting to see a little bit of early engagements be met. Hazza has been bested out by Apoc Dud on the AWP, but no one's trying to get over aggressive. Everybody's just kind of settling down, seeing if anybody else is going to peek out their heads, see if they can give up a free haircut right now, and you know, a lot of time on the clock. Eventually, Chiefs are going to maneuver somewhere. It would align towards the A site where it is right now, as Avant will, you know, reclaim control over of that line, looking for themselves with a little bit of utility there, but here starts to come some of the utility from the Chiefs as well, and let's see what they're going to be able to work with on the back of it.
How do they approach now? Will it be that split towards A, which is looking quite the choice for them? They've obviously smoked towards top of connector to allow themselves to get that control, but look at this already. Up towards short, that is going to be APOC, has the information now as to where these players are going. Look at the location of Ofnu. An opening pick for Sterling, another one for APOC as well. Ofnu inside the ramp, going to be able to find one, not quite the second. There is Yam from the ramp to be able to pick up one. Now his famed AWP from the back in the days, and Versa. 1 versus 2. Can he do it again? Holding the line again. Has to try cross, but there we go, Humongous. A great flash from the teammate, and there we have it, Chiefs. They'll find their 10th round. This time, Clutchmaster Versa will not secure it.
And that's the first round for the Chiefs on their T side right now. And with all the economy, all the money that Avant were provided after finding 5, with, you think about it, not too much return from the Chiefs in terms of the kill counter as well. The Avant side were able to balance out that money quite nicely, so they will have the full util behind the M4s, behind the AWP of Sterling right now, a couple of kits to be collected as well, so it is going to be a little bit of a rinse and repeat for Avant in how to tackle out this round. You know, hold down the fort and mid, make sure that the Chiefs can't bust out from there, hold down short, quite aggressive for APOC if anything does arise as well. I do like the approach from Chiefs though. They continue to gain control of mid to see that they've got options in where they want to go in through towards the map, but I also am very liking right now that Sterling is actually backing up Versa in connector right now. In case one of them loses their lives, they are able to swing.
So how do they establish the extra control that they've got in their hands right now? I am liking this double up inside connector, sort of from Avant, you know, being able to spot towards that position, be there ready to trade each other or flash for each other when the opportunity does arise. Still 2 towards B. Boosting into the window though now, as for everyone watching at home, you actually can boost yourself into that window, of course, but doing it with a teammate still does allow for the silence. Versa does find APOC Dud getting caught out. The Humongous, good for the trade. Ofnu going for that spray, knowing there's members towards short, because look at this position now. 4 versus 4. Sterling is going to be able to isolate, but they've actually gone for a little bit of a different approach here. They've moved now their way in towards jungle, and Ofnu has to do the damage. He's actually all alone here, but look at Sterling, does find one. Will he be able to find a second? No. Greatly traded from Zeph, and Vexite moving his way out as well. All back to this 3 versus 2 now. Moving up short, though, is Hazard. Vexite going to be able to find him, but APOC, if any man is in the position to do something big, it is going to be him right now. Swinging around, but no, the healthiest member in Zeph does spot him out. They were all prepared for it, and Chiefs, they double up with 11-11, and I hope the Avant are making a wish right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a wish upon a star because they're not going to be able to purchase through. Give us some money, give us some damage, maybe give us a round right now. The pistols can be potent enough to catch the Chiefs off guard, but it is, you know, the overdrive established for the Chiefs right now. They've been able to find a couple of rounds. They've been able to force Avant into submission, and now they've also been able to find the first opening pick off the back of the AWP. There is aggression coming out from APOC in mid. He is the one with the Kevlar. No flashbang, though, to permit him entry in towards this top mid area, and you can see that Chiefs are full well knowing that it is pistols from Avant, maybe expecting a bit of a mid rush right now. That's how, you know, established they are in Counter-Strike. That's how much experience they have and the tendencies that they have seen and know what come through. So APOC now needs to find the right timing with the util coming on through. He does falter, unfortunately, and the remainder of the Avant crew are all looking to lose their lives as well. A little bit of damage exchanged in the piece, but it is the Chiefs to once again gain the lead.
Yeah, and look at the money they've started to build up now. I mean, they do have to reinvest a little bit, of course. Vexite will be able to buy for himself, Yam to drop over for Zeph, but they've still got a solid established position. APOC Dud can reinvest himself to get up an AWP later on, you know, depending on how the rest of the few rounds ahead go. But Avant, they're sort of limping into this one a little bit. You know, they've got no kits. They've only got minimal utility. If we do think about it, you know, the FAMAS in the hands of Ofnu as well. But Avant, you know, they never really feel under-equipped regardless of what they've sort of got playing at hand. So slowly making their way out towards A here. This is where Chiefs could potentially go for something a little bit faster. Sterling is there, but already leaping and bounding out and Ofnu already to find one. Damage though, Zeph finds it back, but look at how much that they've been taken down by this Molotov on top of the balcony. Humongous though, over the stairs and finding it. Ultimately moving into jungle now, and Hazard looking like Tarzan as he tries to swing away, but it looks like Humongous is going to be hunting for him firm, and oh my god!
That has to be a pre-fire.
That was a big boy play, and he has stolen away Jane with that one.
That was just a huge round to come out from Humongous as well. You know, he jumps over from Tetris on towards the top of stairs. He's able to pins on top of the jungle smoke, able to catch a kill, swing around onto Sterling and take out the AWP. But he didn't stop there. He just, B-hopped himself at the back of the flames at jungle and I guess free-fired the last kill in the end. So the Chiefs are definitely feeling it. Now they are comfortably warm in the server, which everyone technically should be right now. You know, it's been just sort of opening stage of the match right now where you're getting into the depth of it and starting to experience the tendency collections on how the teams, how your opponents will be playing and your own little weaknesses that you will try to micromanage in the rounds. So we are back again onto an Avant pistol. I'll talk about the micromanaging. The flame does actually miss in towards the mid window, a bit of a special grenade there, but the second one's good. Chiefs, they are exercising a lot of utility at their disposal. We know that it is these pistols for Avant, so if things can swing in towards the close angles, maybe Avant's Eagles could catch some headshots, but for APOC, the headshot he's catching is Yam's bullet.
Good damage there to open up from Yam. Now Versa just waiting on the other side of that smoke. It looks like the Chiefs, again, trying to make their way up towards mid. They are splitting towards short, though, and Versa might be able to actually find something. Zeph definitely ready for it. Does spot him out. Good trade from Offnu, but unfortunately, Offnu's alone in a 1 versus 4, and Humongous is going to make him pay for it. APOC Dud finally waking up as well with this AWP. He's not been quiet by any means, but we haven't really seen him go too huge with the AWP, but apparently taking him over into the T side where it is starting to carry him along. Now Hazza, he's going for the double AWP setup. You love to see it. It can be very, very critical and crucial to have on this City side of Mirage. And now where are we going to be seeing? And I'm assuming the AWP will be taken over towards B, and Humongous, he's already picked up Versa, but there is 2 members here, and now the momentum. Sterling, he's up close and personal. Offnu to find one. Sterling narrowly misses, but Offnu's picked up another. Now APOC has arrived, and Humongous alone in a 1 versus 3. And there we will have it. APOC with 3. Full defense and full disclosure, and Avant will solidify their 12th here. Only 2 behind as they start to scratch at the Chiefs' economy.
Early pick for the Chiefs, just full balls to the wall, full momentum in towards the site. And Avant, they were left a little bit scratching their heads. They've lost the first member. Sterling stuck at triple, but it was ultimately the pinch out and the cavalry to arrive at the site that did help them, and the chaos was found. So on to the 12th round, 2 separator. Buys back for both of the teams right now. It is the double AWP still for Avant being played with as well. So they are fully equipped to do the damage right now. It's Chiefs. They do start to extend themselves out through mid. A lot of smokes to be utilized right now. Sterling's been seen. He's been made quick work of. Offnu to get a trade. Now it's all the way over to A. The bomb has been seen. Dealt with Offnu. Don't expect anything more.
This man is going huge all on his lonesome right now. Humongous does start to creep up, does have the bomb in hand. And oh my god, Humongous, a great shot there. To Offnu. Versus going to be good for the trade, however. So it's all back into this 3 versus 2. The bomb in a little bit of a difficult situation to be recovered by APOC Dud here. Hazza watching towards mid, which is exactly where Vexite is, on towards that position up near Heaton. Will APOC Dud spot anything out? He does indeed, does have the Molotov. I do actually think he got a leg shot in there, which is a little bit awkward, a little bit unfortunate, but with 45 seconds remaining, the flashbang comes in, and APOC Dud apparently just sort of flinging around, not really knowing what's happening, but ultimately he does wait for his teammate. Oh, Vexite, this could be huge if ultimately this is the positioning from APOC. He is so good at taking this control. It comes with experience, and they're not going to be ready for him at all. All they need to do is just buy as much time. How do they play it out from here? That's good for the Molotov, but I do not think they're going to be ready for this flank. If they are god tier, and APOC is about to pull all the information and secure it for Avant. The bag has been collected, and that is in form of a 13th round for Avant.
You weigh up that round as well. That play from Versa, if he loses that duel in the 1 versus 1 on the site, it could have been a bomb plant down for the Chiefs and it could have narrated the round back to them. But in Versa finding that, it allows APOC to push him through the palace to look to get that flank, gets the information of Vexite stampeding down through a main as well and stomping on the floor. So that would have been communicated to the rest of the Avant crew that they don't need to go for these challenges. Wait for the flank to come on through. They've got the information. They know Chiefs are coming to A. Even if they need to, play for a retake if the bomb does go down. They've got 3 different points that they would have been retaking through. 1 CT, 1 A main, and 1 through either connected jungle. Like, that is usually difficult for two players of the Chiefs there, or any two players on the T side with a man advantage for the CT side to hold through. So really well played for Avant in the end there. They're now going to be knocking on the door of number 14 for the equalization for all 30 rounds of regulation to be played here on Mirage. And you look at this new round, Chiefs, they have forced fully in towards this one. The AKs are around, but Yam, he's got no primary rifle. He's just on the Tech 9.
Yeah, risk versus reward here. You know, Chiefs, obviously, they go for the glory here. Will they be able to find 15, or will Avant find 15 off the back of this one? Because, you know, we're expecting an eco to come out of the Chiefs into the next one if they're unsuccessful here. And look at Apoc's positioning one, but that's a good trade. Backside able to collapse, but look at this rotation already. They don't need to overextend. They don't need to really push the narrative here. They can just sort of wait for a little while longer. And that's exactly what the Chiefs are going to do here. Already 3 members from Avant. You know, they're hyper-aggressive on their rotates. But look at this from Offnu. Moving up, should have the information. Should indeed have the information. And there is another frag found. Humongous, though. Going to be good for the trade. But in the process, Versa, Hazza, they found frags. It's all on a Yam, all on his lonesome. Only with the Tech 9 and the double op setup secures Sterling to find it. And now we are all tied up here. 14-14. This one is going the full length on Mirage.
If we do get overtime on Mirage as well, I think I would just like to see everybody in our region permanently have it as a ban. Bring us back Vertigo, bring us back Overpass, give me my map, change to Mirage, because it's being played too many times to count right now. Everybody just knows what's going on, it seems, and how to play CT and how to play T. It's just the back and forth nature, but in that nature, Avant, they're going to be settling back into something that is comfortable for them. The push up through towards A main, but the play is to be held right now because the CTs, they're in a little bit of a back burner right now. The knife is even going to be pulled out on this side, but you look it up right now. It's a little bit chaotic to try to control and be convincing in this round for the Chiefs. They're not even going to be able to get a single kill, unfortunately. Trying something, you know, a little bit different. Go for the rush. Try to catch Avant off guard, but missed shots and all the utility around as well doesn't really help out the factor. But, Mitch, that does mean Avant have now found map point. They find this one. That'll be an equal 1-1. But if they go to overtime, it's again, anyone's guess.
Deep breaths.
Exactly. Deep breaths.
We look down the barrel of an overtime. The classic of Mirage. It is too common in the vicinity of Australian CS and Asian CS, I guess, as well. You know, we see that quite regularly on the position. But now, look, you know, it's a bit spooky here. Apoc Dud's not going to have the AWP. Ultimately, the pause will come through. That's likely a discussion on the side of the Chiefs. How do we play this one out? Look at the moment. Look at the conversation. You can just see him. That's Apoc Dud. He said, boys, what did you have for breakfast? Tell me right now. Give me some oats. And hopefully that little pep talk inside spawn. It is proven, by the way, if you do bring everyone into the spawn prior to the match proceeding. It always does sort of seem to reap some rewards, but for the time being, Chiefs fully bought in, got the AKs, they've got the utility, but Avant still hold on to that double op setup, and they haven't lost a single round since it's been established, despite it not really going too massive.
Well, you look at this run right now. It's do or die time for the Chiefs in this map. Any mistakes could spell disaster. So with you, Tilt, to come over toward the J site, it's going to be down to the now 4 members that do surround themselves on the site. Of course, you've got the AWP in Hazard's hands that will overlook mid right now. Flanks push through from Apoc. They know that this is an advance. This is going over towards that A site. And Sterling good to one. Yam taken down relatively low. Out through underbarrel. Offnu for another kill. Dropping the bomb. Things are definitely not going the Chiefs' way. But Apoc does bring back with depth. The flank now from Apoc is here. He's done it again. Looking for the remaining. Step up through connector, being made an example of. And Apoc will get a HG on to Yam. That is 16-14, all 30 rounds. But I tell you what, I'm kind of glad it wasn't overtime. Just
Overtime was certainly there, but ultimately that is Avant picking up their map pick of Mirage, 16-14. We now go 1-1 is the scoreline in this grand final. Matt, roll us in before we head over to the next map.
Conky, it only took us 1 game to go all the way back to what it's been the whole time. A best of 3. Now Chiefs and Avant. You know, Chiefs losing their advantage, Avant getting the ball rolling. The series could absolutely go anywhere, especially considering we were a hair's breadth away from overtime on map 1. But After the break, we're going to be going right into map 2 to see how the remainder of this grand final is going to turn out. Welcome back, everybody, to the grand final of LPL Pro CSGO season number 3. We have just finished off game number 1 on Mirage, where Avant managed to take it out just before having to go to overtime. And now, as a result of that, thanks to Chiefs' 1 map advantage through the winners bracket, we're now down to a best of 3, where both teams have picked up that 1 win each already. So, boys, we've now probably to Komodo's pleasure, out of Mirage. We get to go now to Nuke. Avant's going to be starting CT side, so let's start breaking this one down. Conky, Avant on CT side, does this mean we're going to be looking at maybe 2-1 after this?
I just feel like Avant are just really, really solid in the way of their confidence to like take the jewels and everything like that. There's no real need to go for like any heavy control, because at the end of the day, like as long as we've got one person sort of going for those infos, like which we definitely saw APOC take the advantage of that later in the game. Of course, like right towards the end, he was able to flank like 2 rounds back to back to basically win the game.
Yep,
so yeah, Yeah, their reads are very, very good. So, that's awesome to see that come out. I think, Avant off the back of that, as I spoke about, momentum, right? And as Dion mentioned, Chiefs, sometimes they can lack it. They're either really hype and hot and looking really good, and they were for parts of that game. It was 16-14. We can't take anything away from the Chiefs. So I'm just hoping that they can go now into their map pick, obviously fired up and ready to rock and roll, because otherwise Avant might overwhelm and take control.
Yeah, and look, Komodo, we were just talking about it, momentum being a massive thing. So with Avant getting that one, how much does the scoreline play into that? Because, momentum can be very different between getting a 16-0 and a 16-14.
I think at the end of the day, whilst Chiefs don't win out that map per se, they'll still be okay with it. It takes all of the rounds for Avant to be able to claim it, so it's really a 50-50 gamble of who would take it. But I think Chiefs are going to be extremely comfortable going into Nuke. Recent history, they've been pretty damn well on it. Last time these two teams played each other on Nuke, it was 16-8 in favor of the Chiefs, and that was only on Monday, I do believe it. So they're fired up in here. It's been a bit of a weak point for Avant time and time again, usually coming out on that second ban if they possibly can. So definitely looking towards a Chiefs victory on this map here in Nuke, but can't take it away from Avant because they're fired up. They're here to claim a trophy.
And Conky, now that we're one game deep, we've got a bit of a, viewing to go off, right? So Chiefs have said they're coming into this one a little bit loose in the play style. Did it show in map 1? And how do you reckon it's going to work out now we go to something like Nuke rather than Mirage?
Yeah, look, play styles that are loose, obviously, on Mirage can quite often fare, and I found that they had some really solid rounds in the sense that it did, like Humongous, leaping over onto stairs and taking all that control of jungle straight away on the A side. So that kind of stuff is really good and can play out well in Mirage, but on Nuke it can be a bit spookier because ultimately Nuke is quite a much more structured map. There's still a lot of players that you come across in the region that don't really know how to play it, very much the same as Vertigo, because it's not like a regularly played map, I guess. And it's funny because people will say it's I don't like it. Well, it's you probably would if you learned it. So that's the usual, and that's come along more because I remember back in the day, it was the Chiefs, obviously a previous Chiefs rendition of the roster back in the day, IEM Sydney early days. No one in Australia played Nuke. It was just them, and they dominated the whole time round. So I think going into their map, they can't play it as loose, but they've got enough structure in the tank to be able to bring this one through. I definitely think they're in the favour here, but ultimately that's only going to be a 2-1. Avant still have plenty of room to move. And I think Chiefs cannot get caught slacking here. They need to make sure they take this one. Otherwise, I think it could be a topsy-turvy.
Well, let's see if they can do it. Let's see if Avant can keep that ball rolling or if Chiefs are going to be able to steal this one away. They were only a few rounds away on Mirage, but it's Nuke now. A whole different story. And to read you this bedtime story, this fable, is going to be Conky and Komodo.
Don't make me fall asleep already if we're reading bedtime stories. It took me 5-6 hours for a best of 5 last night, so we're in for the long run tonight. Wonder if we will get that far though. 16-14s, if they keep coming into fruition, well, maybe.
Very much a chance here. Map number 3, effectively, you could call it, but number 2 that we are seeing tonight. The Let's Play Live Season 3, closure of 2020, the grand final. Avant versus Chiefs, 1-1 scoreline, and Sterling with the opener. Next side good for the trade back, but Sterling's already found 2. Somehow still alive here on the top of the hut roof, but there's Azza to arrive to help out Sterling. And this duo dynamic as ever. It's all on the Vex side, and he also managed to bring it back to a 1 versus 2, and now this is a position where Avant don't need to overextend. Azza will pick up his 3rd, and how they've let the 2 A-site defense players get away with that, with all the rotators dying, is very, very solid.
I think I'm just confused on how Sterling stayed alive and all of that. He had the CZ. The Chiefs were already out and toward the site, out of that hut before Sterling had even landed on top of the hut. So a little bit interesting there. But the CZ, sometimes it's a very capable weapon. It can shoot out the bullets quickly. It can get the damage done. And for Avant, they do get that damage done. They find the pistol. There's no plan for the Chiefs to at least force off into this one here. So it should, by all means, be an Avant 2nd round on the board. Versus will start off by finding Humongous. Apox already flanked all the way through from ramp. Definitely contributing to that flanking potential that we saw over on Mirage right now. And the string of things, the Chiefs, they're not going to find a single kill in this round, but that ultimately does mean take the 2 beginning rounds for what they are, and now come to the 3rd hot and heavy with your own purchase.
Hot and heavy into this next round. Let us see how they will fare. Of course, that purchase, as you mentioned, only Vexite needing to go down to the Galil, picking up the additional utility. Everyone else is going to be comfortable enough to get the job done, whereas Avant, they've got 3 Famises, the 1M4 in the hands of Hazza, and APOC is going to be getting up close and personal. Already the head ripped off, APOC done, Yam finding it. And look, Avant, they go for the aggressive play, but this time the Chiefs are going to be ready for it, and it's on to Offnu to see if he can sort of make any form of recovery. Yam is spotted out, but Zeph's picked up another one onto Hazza. This is basically every single member of Avant holding W straight into the Chiefs. But, in a position like this, they've gone for the advantage of trying to get the jump onto the Chiefs. This time it hasn't worked. Offnu's at least been able to find one more. But now they can all start to make their way towards ramp, and Versa should have all of that information. He's let them all go. I thought he might have peaked at sort of the halfway mark, but he's given time for Offnu to rotate over, and now they can at least start to make their way down. Already dropping down towards the doors. They take control of the control room, and now with this 4v2 situation, it should be near impossible for Avant, but already Vexite. Oh, Vexite, he's been taken down to 1 HP.
But Zeph has wisened up to where Versa was, and Offnu will fall in quick succession as well. So the Chiefs, they will be able to survive with 4 players in finding the round. But as you say, Avant, they were trying to change it up. They were trying to hold W, see if they could get up close and personal to the Chiefs, where the weaponry of Avant, was at a weaker status. They would like to take it close and personal to get some more damage to catch the Chiefs off guard. Try and not succeed in the end. It does actually put them back onto an eco now, because they weren't able to build up enough money to go in for another purchase. They will have the big old guns in the next round. AWP to be provided, maybe even a second one if they want to be able to do so. It would be quite good. We know that the double AWPs on Nuke are going to be very potent, as well as the pistols. So let's see what these Deagles are going to be able to deliver, as well as APOC on the MP9. I don't see a flank coming out from him just yet. I say just yet because it could potentially happen.
There's still time, brother. Just be patient. Let's see what he's going to be able to look forward through in the next couple of seconds into the round. But the molly over towards credit card. No banking transactions to come out as Offnu does make his way through. I do think he might have got some information as to where Vexite was, as he does burn down. Great shot secured there, but he's already taken a lot of damage. But he's going to give some back to APOC in the process as well. Does also land a shot on the Yam, and now this is where Hazza can surprise. It's a 3 versus 3, but the health advantage actually goes the way of Avant. And whilst the Chiefs, they are obviously on the more difficult half of the team side, APOC's going to be dropped by APOC Dud. And now it's on to Versa and Hazza. This time in a 2 versus 3. Hazza towards the decon doors. But whether or not they're actually going to head towards B, we'll have to find out. It's only Humongous that's waiting down there right now. The other 2 just about to head towards Lowers to join him into Secret. There'll be no whispers down here, though, as Hazza, he's ready to stare down the barrel. 20 seconds remain, Dion. Is Hazza going to be able to win this? Okay, never mind. I'm ready for the build-up here, dude.
Yeah, no, I get you on that one. It's a circumstance where it could have gone towards Avant's favor. All of that damage that was done with the pistol over towards that credit card area. APOC Dub was taken down though, as well as Vexite, I might believe it to be, but it's going to be Versa seeing what he can do right now. Will be spotted out, and Zeph will be able to claim it. We balance out 2-2 right now, and I think, Mitch, I've just been trying to figure out the amount of times that I've heard you say APOC Dud eliminating APOC instead of the other way. I feel that there's definitely more slander towards APOC Dud in this in that little 1v1.
Yeah, it has been so far. I definitely would put him slightly above, but I think the plays that APOC has been able to make off the back of the flanks. So sure, the Dud is in front for the time being, but he does have to keep up with one of the most experienced players in the region. 33 years young, but playing all around the world. And hang on a second, Vexite has just gone postal, running 3 massive frags, and now he's going to be trying to lock down even further on Offnu, and there it will be. Vexite with a spray transfer. Hopefully he doesn't clip that, because it's got me talking about APOC's age, but regardless, I am old as well, so it's fine. Vexite is young, and he is fragging, and that is a 3rd round for the Chiefs, and that puts Avant back onto the eco.
That was a buy for Avant as well. Nothing really that could be collected from them, unfortunately. It feels like they provided Chiefs with the wave, and the Chiefs, they just rode it into great victory. I guess maybe just just the single member in there to pick up the 4K, but now on these pistols, it's Avant trying to get out in towards lobby. Sterling will find one, but that is all we will be seeing. Chiefs to extend out their lead. We will have another purchase to come back through for Avant right now, but they need to convert it. They need to be able to figure out what the Chiefs are doing in the early stages of this game, because you look at what the Chiefs have been doing. It's a bit of the outers control. If it's not outers control, it's a bit of the lobby extension, a little bit quicker as well. And then, toward the end of the rounds, if it wasn't outers, they're more than often than not going down towards that B site. So a little bit of the bird's eye view. Now a bit of a change up as well, but still reminiscent of what I've just said.
I was just thinking to myself as well, the age disparity in this competition. Like, between players, staff, everyone. And that's like, what's the common factor? We're all gamers here. And we're all feeling the love. That's the main thing this year. It has been the land lovers. Oi, tell you what, soon, it's coming. 6 days, no cases, Victoria. Borders opening to WA. Oh, mate, I'm bloody ready. Looking forward to it. But something the Chiefs are looking forward to is a take towards B. Ultimately, APOC does get the first denial. First up. Coming down from the double doors, that bomb will be planted, but the Chiefs with 5 people alive, they need to do well to lock down the post plant here. But yeah, Avant might save.
Yeah, they save here. They could look to do something extra in the next round. They'll be able to buy up a lot of utility to back up the weaponry. It'll be down to APOC to potentially just get out an MP9. I would kind of love to see, if possible, an XM be brought out and put him over towards that ramp room. Time and time again, you see on Nuke, you see over in EU and NA, people get out the elevator, but here, you don't really see it.
So running away, saving on into the next round. It's going to be a 5th round here for which is Chiefs. Definitely the momentum that they need on this team side. Very, very important to find as much as possible because, even considering now in the current meta, 5 rounds is pretty much almost enough to take the half out. As their nuke is obviously very, very good just in its own right, let alone how many rounds they've been able to find on the T side already. If they can continue this momentum, find, 6, 7, 8, potentially 9 or 10, that almost should mean a very difficult situation to come back from Avant, and very well, again, quote unquote, should take us to a 3rd map, I guess, with 2-1 in favor of the Chiefs, but we'll have to see as Vexite finds the opening here onto Offnote.
Yan has been taken down to 14 as well. I can't count the amount of times that Yan has been brought down into the red from the engagements, but still managed to either win the duel or stay alive for his teammate finding a kill. APOC, though, none the wiser, but the flashbang, he has to be playing 4-3. He didn't spot out Yam just then. That is quite unfortunate. He might even lose his life because of it, and Yam will look particularly fancy right now. Not too much damage, though, done over towards APOC, though. Offnu, he's already been taken down right now, as Zeph has been able to work his way down toward the lower B tunnels. A minute to play with on that clock for the Chiefs. A comfortable amount of utility as well to get something happening right now. It kind of feels like it's back towards drawing board, though, with the microaggressions in this round. It's Avant to gain control of lobby, but they have conceded pretty much all of outers.
Yeah, plenty of control, but they've very much, sort of pumped the brakes here, not looking to overextend or over-aggress as they do start to head down towards lowers. Versa watching towards heaven, so is Hazza. So they are well and truly aware of the prospect that there might be a split to A. But now with Yam getting back into this position, the rest of the members are actually going down lower, and Sterling is going to have a big task ahead, and he will open up with the first. That is the bomb drop and the Molotov. 20 seconds to go now. They have to get out these double doors, and Sterling has done so much, but oh no! He takes off the scope and ultimately puts out the nade, but there's 3 members, 4 members even, of Avant here now to drop the bomb, find the frags, and yeah, look, Yam's got no chance here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the round will be done in favor of Avant.
That is a really good comeback for them as well. We see the Chiefs once upon a time, a couple of rounds ago, get all 5 members down to that B site, get the plant, and Avant just called it for that save. And, well, that was the previous round. And the Chiefs, they were trying to do the same thing, get down in towards that B site. But this time, Avant were there and ready for the retake. Everybody coming down through the mega ramp door. And, well, they do manage to get the 3rd round on the board. Another buy to be coming forward from the Chiefs. The AWPs are going to be out for both AWPers of the squads. And it now does go down to the Chiefs. Are you going to take it fast, take it slow? It's looking like they want to get a little bit of utility in toward the A side to base out and draw out all of Avant's util right now, who do actually put 3 players around this A side to start things off. So a little bit of a lurk down towards the ramp room. Zeph trying to potentially get down the vent. Versa, wise at the back, will find him and punish him.
Very good opening pick. Being able to get that one nice and early on the board. Because whatever's happened in the Chiefs camp, they've definitely started to slow down the momentum. And that is where Avant's aggressive rotations start to come in. You know, this is something that we need to see the Chiefs read a little bit better. Because ultimately, you know, Avant, by being able to rock up to the premises as soon as the Chiefs are ready to execute, has been able to deny, you know, almost every time. So they need to get that opening pick and just continue to move with the momentum, go with the flow. And that is exactly the kind of flow I'm talking about. APOC peeks into the oblivion in the form of Humongous. So he'll be able to find a very, very solid opening pick. But here we go, Sterling. He is holding towards the ramp. He has the aggressive line. Are they going to try and flash him off? They do have something to work with. But in the end, they're going to go for this jump across. How's it going to plan out? In the end, Yam, he ends up spotting out Sterling, and he goes for another. Will he pick up a third? No, not quite. It will be traded out, but he might have just done enough because they have to get rolling and they have to go immediately. Versa's already there. Offnu's going quick as well. Versa is ready for it. That Molotov, though, is good. Now Humongous able to arrive just at the possible time. Vexite up in towards the control room. Humongous has to play the aggressive route here, waiting for the deep contour to be open, but there we go. Has the drops Vexite. Humongous now watching towards Mega, and that is the wrong location. Offnu to strike. Almost the teammates for Avant, only APOC missing out. But that will be 4. And the money now, it's starting to be sort of dwindled a little bit for the Chiefs, but actually no, that's a goddamn lie. Look at the savings. These guys have clearly been doing their research.
Yeah, you look at that in the man deficit there for the Chiefs. One player has to get the bomb plant down. It's a little bit vulnerable, and then they need to sit where they are. And with the time ticking around, with the feet already heard stomping on the Avant side, they didn't really have anywhere that they could see back of that blue box from Humongous. So in the end, a little bit unfortunate things to happen. It's the Chiefs on this 5th round, Avant on 4, but the opening frag and engagements are going into the Chiefs' favor right now. No returns to be seen from Avant, though don't count them out. They are still very capable to be able to bring these skills back. Yam again being taken down quite low. Humongous will join him, not as low, but down to the 50 HP mark, and it now just comes down to where the Chiefs want to roll down towards. Is it going to be A? Is it going to be B? Are they going to let the time simmer down for Avant to maybe find something in the piece as well?
And look at this control that they've been able to establish now, sort of just waiting a little bit longer. Ultimately, Sterling now has to try and make his way outside for a little bit of an additional play, but nothing's going to be happening just yet. Still, Chiefs being a little bit cautious, not wanting to overstep and walk straight into what is there. Ultimately, Hazza sitting on the top of the hut. We do also have, I think there's actually someone else that's very, very close to it as well, but it's not going to quite matter. Hazza able to open, and there we go. There is APOC. He is in such a good position. But where did that come from? Sterling up in heaven, able to hit the wallbang shot, and he picks up another. Oh, this gets scary now, Sterling. He knows exactly what to do here. He does start to make his way down and rotate through the lobby position. Where is he going to go with this? Has the bomb been planted lower? Yes, it has.
He doesn't know it. He doesn't know.
No, he doesn't know it. Sterling is going to walk his way around, but surely he should hear this. It's actually a very big task for him to try and go for this. But yeah, look, they're one USP shot away each?
Yeah, the problem is, if Sterling loses his life, they'll be able to purchase in the next round, but one player will be on a little bit of a deficit in the weaponry department. If he saves this AWP, he can comfortably buy up util and drop some weaponry. And with the, I guess maybe a gamble and hoping that it was up on that A site, in it not being, it is going to be down to the save. And it's just quite unfortunate that he doesn't exactly know how low Yam and Zeph are. As you mentioned, the USB could have eliminated them both very quickly, but the same can be said in the return. You know, 2 bullets out from that AK from Zeph, that can be quite quickly delivered. A single shot from Yam, he'd just be posted on a single line with that AWP. A little bit unfortunate, but great for the Chiefs there that they are able to find their 6th round, because it's nuke. Remember, 5 or 6, even 7 rounds, you're really looking comfortable, and Chiefs are still propped to even go further than that now that you know, they're starting to get a little bit of this momentum back after losing a couple of rounds.
Yeah, definitely the momentum that they need to take advantage of as well. You know, 6 rounds is nothing to laugh at on the old T side of nuke, because APOC, he gets aggressive, hasn't been able to take the additional control that he, you know, knows and loves. Humongous does get all the way across into the top of Secret. He was definitely smelled out from the other side, but nothing to come out just yet. Offnu, though, oh, this is big. This is the aggression that you love to see, the gamble, the reward that might be able to be reaped by Offnu here, because he has completely got past Humongous, and they are going to have absolutely no information towards this. How big does he go here? 1, 2, only a third. That is quite possibly one of the biggest plays you will come out of this competition. What a position to be found for Offnu. 4 big kills. I think, potentially, without the hype even behind it, that's possibly one of the biggest plays that we've seen in this entire competition.
Just to piece a little bit of the timing to have the goal go for the retake right now, but now Humongous is able to find 2. Offnu probably going to be asking for the ace that they know Huey is being taken relatively low. The bomb has been cared for as well right now by the likes of a Hazza. You do also see that APOC has elevated himself up and towards the outer heavens of this ladder. There you go. It's the ace for Offnu. It is an absolute smacker of a play, and the Chiefs probably don't know what hit them there.
I feel like we needed some like jazz piano in the background or something like that, because there's no way to even hype up something like that, because it was just so gigabrain that it just panned out beautifully. Like, mwah, you know, playing some classic music or something in the background, glass of wine, maybe some cheese. It was pure beauty. Very well played there from Offnu. Massive credit to him as he proceeds onwards for the team. That was a round that Avant desperately needed, I guess you could say. Now APOC slowly starting to creep his way around with that AWP. Obviously, the money has started to be really divided now for the Chiefs. It's definitely gone lower. They would like. First, a very aggressive play there. Offnu is going to be able to find one more, though, to revenge for him. Now he's a little bit stuck here, and he will be taken down before that flash grenade does come out. But ultimately, Sterling, he'll find one back, so it's back to a 3-on-2.
And look at the time left on that clock right now. The disconnection between these Chief members. Zephyr's been seen. APOC does with a bomb on his back with an AWP in his hand, and now he is in the 1 versus 3. It's now a 0-for-3 as Avant do win out the round, and we are tied up 6-6. Of course, Avant, they are going to try and navigate themselves into these remaining 3 rounds to make it a usual halftime scoreline that we come to know on this map here in a nuke. But you remember, the Chiefs have picked this, and therefore a reason.
Yeah, look, this is just Avant basically reading Chiefs like a book now, you know. They were able to get some early momentum and really sort of move on with it, but now they're ultimately down to just an eco, and this is where Offnu, rather, really starts to pad the stats a little bit more, does spot out one, but Versa will ultimately take it. So 2 members are already going down. They don't have the bomb either. It is, unfortunately, in a bit of a bad... Now a couple more found. Humongous is going to be able to pick one back. And moving on in, Sterling's going to be dropping Humongous. So very nicely done by the Avant roster. They have now taken the lead back 7-6. And yeah, look, you know, they're looking like they could potentially win out this half, but Chiefs still have an opportunity to close at 8-7. However, Avant, they've got the momentum and they've got the force behind them.
I wonder in this sort of scenario, if you are Avant, do you go for a little bit of an unexpected play? Do you go for some really fast aggression towards somewhere? And it is actually looking like they're going to do that. Sterling to prop himself out towards the red box right now. Wait for the flashes to diminish the blinding. But you can also see that APOC is going to be scoped in. Wise to the fact these teams reading each other like a book. But Sterling will find a Yam. That's going to start off for Avant right now, but Sterling's still kind of being a little bit vulnerable right now. I'm kind of just wondering where Zeph is. He's coming up at the back. Did he vent drop? He's in secret. I think he vent dropped.
Already down. Look at that. Huge play coming out from Zeph. 2 massive frags, which does create an opening into this round now for the Chiefs as he does move back into secret. The rest of his teammates are going to be looking to do the same and joining him. Backside, though, taking damage from APOC, and this is... Okay, APOC is also on the big boy flank, and he's up on the top of the silo. Offnu now should be able to spot out these 2 members in them, and Humongous. He takes the wrong way, looking to the inappropriate position, but APOC will be able to clear up, and now it's on to Humongous to try and find this 1 versus 2. Very, very nicely played from APOC in the round with 3.
Very plausible right now. A little bit of utility to work with. No smoke, though, that in this current situation you probably might want to see one. But with the flashes and the Molotov, he can look to dissect himself in towards one of these rounds. Footsteps are going to be heard from APOC, and it might be to his demise as well. Humongous is going to prop the line with this right eye peek. APOC, is he aware of this factor? He's looking at the right angle, but he will actually be looking at the wrong angle. There is a bomb plant available now. Those double doors from Versa should have been heard opening. So the flames down the event. He is going to wait because he's not got a smoke to dissipate them. And Humongous, he's just going to overlook this ladder, wait for Versa to prop on up. And it should be, by all means, a kill for Humongous to win out this 1v2 clutch. Unless Versa can catch it on the ladder. If he can look the right way as he shimmies on up, we're waiting to see if Humongous will overextend. 7-7 if we do see Humongous win it. And Versa's looking the wrong way. There is the free haircut. And we are tied up going into the last round of this half.
Finally, a bit of space created by Zeph and Humongous. That was a colossal round from both of these players. Humongous is stepping up to the plate, exactly what I was expecting for him. Told him to put on a show tonight, and he is doing exactly that for us here. 12-8, and obviously had a stellar run on Mirage as well, going for some very, very solid, individual prowess plays to show his dominance. And now Zeph, he's found his way down the vents again. And ultimately, this is another full buy. And hang on, APOC. He's also moved his way up into the ramp, but this time Vexside is going to be able to strike back. Another picked up for APOC dud, but Hazard gets the trade back, and there's already so much chaos that's unfolded in the first 15 seconds of this round.
Oh, that's a bit of unfortunate timing for Versa to drop down the vent into the loving crosshair of Zeph. He will welcome him with open arms. Hazard's been taken down 12 HP, so it might just be on a Sterling to go into the retake. And AWP breaking in towards the B bomb site is a very difficult situation, but Zeph might catch timing as they go through the vent at each other. The shot's out, though. We'll give him a little bit of a warning as Hazard will meet with Sterling now, but they need to get in towards this site, and they need to get into it now. Smoke from Hazard to deploy on towards that bomb. There's no kits, and that's why I say that they have to get in here, because it's 10 seconds on that defuse. They are permitted entry, but Yam to overlook from above. We'll see if the Sterling's not on that bomb. Catch a headshot, and the dink will be stolen away by Zeph. So the Chiefs ultimately will lead at the half in their own map pick, but it is as close as you can get here in our third technical map. It is the second that we've been witnessing because of that map advantage.
Well done. That was a much better sort of comeback, I suppose, from the Chiefs. I still feel like this half could have very well been, 11-4 or something along those lines. By the way, the Chiefs did initially take the reins, but anyway, it is what it is, and Chiefs are sitting at 8. Avant have still put up a stellar performance, and I don't think they're really going to struggle on this T side. They come into this game feeling that they're better than the Chiefs, and I think they can definitely do some punishing, but unfortunately, the Badonka play of the Julies doesn't work, but Humongous is here to deny. He's picked up 2 already. Now it's on to APOC dud. Humongous looking to do some damage. He's picked up 3, all on a Sterling. On the side, does have the bomb, 10 points of HP though, and he's actually going to start to moonwalk out of there as he does walk towards the ramp.
And he's going to put his running shoes on now, however, and try to just get straight down to the B site to plant out, hoping that none of the Chiefs members do catch him off guard. He's not going to actually have to go and walk up that ladder, climb up that ladder towards heaven, oversee the A site, which is what the Chiefs are going to be looking towards now, but that bomb's going to go down. How does Sterling play this out? Because he's only got 10 points of HP, and only a single bullet will end him. It's good to see that the bomb's down, though. Extra money for Avant to, I guess, expectedly force up into the next round if they do lose, because the util will now come down. Flash out, smoke for the bomb. APOC dud on the kit. Now Sterling really catch the right timing.
He's had to break the window. Is he going to be able to spray through? That was almost a winnable round there from Sterling. Shot narrowly above the head, but the full confidence there between Humongous and APOC dud. 2 players that have been together for a fair while. The love between these two is gorgeous. And ultimately, they are able to defend each other's honor. Chiefs pick up the first round, but now they need to not stumble, because look at the buy that has come out from Avant. This is a team that just lost the last round. They have 3 Galils and an AK. Like, come on.
Counter-Strike, am I right?
CSGO, baby.
Time you would usually see, the save if you lose a pistol round regardless, but now I guess anything can happen. It's not one of those purchases from them, though, where they drop down over 2 AK-47s, 2 people copying a dig in the trade, and they get the full utility out. It's like everybody's kind of going in with the purchase to see that they'll look to get damage from their own equipment. But for right now, they have conceded control a little bit of the outers in respect to the Chiefs. They'll be holding down towards this secret angle as Vexite was shouldering out the line. He will find ahead of Aversa. He's not able to connect to it just yet. A minute to play with for Avant to try to get another bomb plant down. Maybe survive with a couple of people first if they can do so to hold it off and defend it. Yeah, what do you really look to do in this round when you know that your opponents have potential better buy than you do?
Still the damage dealt onto Apoc Dud early on in the piece, though. But I mean, you know, Avant, they've burned down a fair bit of time trying to sort of establish their positioning. A little bit of a tap from Yam up in heaven. Might be able to find a little bit more. But with 30 seconds to go, where do Avant take this? It looks like they're potentially going to split down towards B, but that is going to be for the time being, holding on from the stairs, and Aversa also going to meet the same fate. There we have it. It's 4 versus 2 up on the A side. Apoc Dud to deny, and unfortunately for Avant, you know, their risk does not meet the reward, and the gamble on the full buy does not pay off. Ultimately, Chiefs with double digits, and now Avant have to settle for an eco, maybe a few deagles. That'll be about it. Apoc Dud looking to happily farm up with that AUG. Humongous looking good too. But if we can bring up the scoreboard here, Toby, because it's been an interesting sort of game across the board. It's Versa to actually have a quiet one when he was going very, very big on Mirage. Maybe sort of still learning the experience on some more challenging maps, I guess you could say. You know, so more technical, I guess, to put the word.
Just while we have this eco round from Avant sort of coming through right now, after this, it pretty much is a player break, you know, with the seasons and everything coming to a conclusion. So it's definitely going to be a lot of practice available for these teams to
we got how long till DreamHack and Beijing-Haidian? I think that's...
I am Beijing-Haidian stuff is like in maybe next week or the week after or something. There's still enough time for. Well, there's only 4 teams now, sure. Right? There's still enough time for a lot of the other teams. Well. Yeah, there's a lot of time for the other teams to be able to get the practice. I think more importantly, you know, you want to see Chiefs be able to find their fifth stable player before going into maybe a new big event or a new season or a new year.
Yeah. Well, the main thing with both of these rosters is, you know, Chiefs obviously still need to find a 5th. You know, Paradox, they've been obviously looking weaker since losing Versa. They've obviously got Zilla, but they haven't been able to practice with him as much just yet. They weren't able to play with him in MDL and had to play with Ketubor, who did really well as a coach, funnily enough. You know, played really nicely. Vertex is still a team that's developing heavily. Obviously, you know, Order need to settle and everything like that. So we've got all these rosters that have just, you know, been overhauled, basically. And I think, you know, over the Christmas break, I think this year's humbled a lot of people in what they can do and what they need to do. And I think going in off the hype into 2021 of because like we could very well be like one of the first regions in the world to have regularity back to LAN. So hopefully that starts to happen and we bring on some entertainment and continue on with it all. But now as Avant start to try to make their way out towards this A side, Apoc Dud is going to defend for a little while longer. Versa certainly getting hot under the collar, but Sterling will be able to find it back. So it's 3 versus 3, they need to get the bomb planted, but Zeph is actually the one to do the damage. Now it's back to a 2-on-2. That is the bomb plant denied.
Take it down towards B as quick as possible right now. Often you know where both your opponents are. You found the first kill. The connection from Yam is now what you're going to try and avoid. He's going to go all the way around to ramp. Imagine if he actually goes through.
He has to go
He's actually going up through the ladder. He does have to go here indeed to get the plant. Yam, he could even look for a denial of this bomb plant, but the smoke will provide a little bit of coverage, as well as we now knowing that Yam is... Yam's going to think it's over towards B. The audio cue. He thinks it's there because he saw him run out of this, and he would have thought, okay, has he gone through secret?
Oh, he knows now.
He doesn't really permit it, but now, hang on, he's figuring it out, but Ofnu has no idea.
How does he play this? That's the thing, though, right? You know, it's such a pressure position. Yam does have the kit, as you mentioned. It's not exactly planted for Ofnu either, so if Yam can get onto that defuse quickly enough, at least he might be able to tap onto it. There's the flashbang that comes in, and now Ofnu... Is he going to go for this? Is he going to go for this? Is he going to... Oh, no! Tight as anything, but Ofnu's won the 1v2 clutch to bring Avant to 8.
You know what's one of the big things when it comes to nuke? Line it up with Mirage, right? In Mirage, you plant triple, you run around A all the way to mid and try to defend it from there. You don't really see anybody plant on the A side and nuke and like run all the way around up the ladder of heaven and try to defend it from heaven. I think that'd be a kind of a unique thing on this map that some teams, if they could pull it out, it could be quite cool.
Very aggressive alt play there from Apoc. Dud did have his teammate there with him, but ultimately it's not going to come to fruition here. Apoc now moving on to the other side of the red box. He might actually find a good bit of timing here, but unfortunately it doesn't quite favour him. So the smoke grenade down, looking to go for some further control in the secret. No shot for Apoc Dud either though, so they've at least found their way towards B, but Humongous is there ready. He only has a deagle, however, and that's going to be a very, very challenging hold unless he finds the shot, but no, Apoc's there, and this is already sort of some walls broken down for Avant.
Now we're going to see them break into the lower ranks of B. Offnu, though, is going to be punished in the outers area. Just trying to get in towards this site. There is a lot of time in case things don't go Avant's way to go back up towards A, but with all this utility going down, they only have Apoc with a Molotov to be deployed. As that bomb's planted, it's going to be a 4 versus 4 situation and retake for the Chiefs. They've got the kits right now. Haz is going to pick up his head, try to whack him while Zeph out of existence, but he'll take the information for what it is. He'll relay that towards his teammates and try to hold down the U4, but for another challenge, he finds one. He finds the second one. It's actually stolen out by Versa. That's going to be the call for Yam and Apoc Dud now to save.
Yeah, a little bit rough there, and, you know, running away with ultimately the AWP and the AUG, but, you know, saving these weapons into the next round doesn't really net you a whole lot of reward because you don't have the money on the remaining players to back it up, and because there's only 2 members surviving as opposed to 3, they're not going to be looking to potentially drop weapons over, because if they are, they really do barrel themselves down to an awkward financial position. But look, maybe, just maybe, otherwise they go for the gentle save, maybe buy a couple of pistols up around the rest of the team, but they've gone for the pause, they're waiting patiently, they're going to discuss this one to see what else needs to happen into the rest of this half, because Chiefs, like, I tell you what, you know, they certainly have the mojo, but then all of a sudden someone steps in and throws off their groove.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. I also do like that the Chiefs roster are using these timeouts. You know, I don't think I've seen one be provided by Avant just yet in this grand final, but you know, they're a team that will like to use them as well. So using what you have, you know, those timeouts, it's time to reset yourselves, think of new strategies, think of how you want to go into the match, think of you know, what information you've gathered on your opponents, but also on the flip side, you know, if you're around and you want to let your opponent simmer in that factor, you can call your own pause and you can just settle yourselves down over maybe overhyping yourselves. So all that considered, the pause is done. Chiefs, are they going to be able to fight back with this weaponry to start things off? Apoc Dud will find Offnu, looking towards Yam with that AUG as well to potentially get something happening right now. But Avant, they're going to go down towards the lower secret area. Now the Apoc Dud AWP has been taken out of the equation.
Need to try and find some more. Zeph obviously in a very, very awkward situation there with only the USP, but the main factor is here that Vexite's at least been able to pick up the AWP, quite a weapon to have when you don't have any Kevlar to work with, but ultimately Humongous, he's about to be collapsed on shortly, but in the end, no, Hazard actually starts to head towards Heaven. That could be the right amount of timing, but in the end, no, it favours Apoc. Ultimately, Vexite watching towards Heaven, does miss the opening shot here, checks towards Annex, but now there is players onto the ground, and there is Apoc, and unfortunately, Am's lost his entire team, and this is definitely going to be a 10th round here for Avant. I mean, Chiefs, they're going to have a buy into the next round, but maybe not the AWP, which is going to be the uncomfortable factor, rather. But I got to admit, I would actually like to see some sort of, you know, aggressive control play come out from the Chiefs, because they have been very, very passive into this half.
Yeah, no, they have. They've kind of let Avant kind of steer everything and direct the map right now. Because, you know, as we're talking about in the pre-phase, Avant haven't actually put up some close score lines against teams on Nuke lately. So for the Chiefs, you know, you'd be expecting them to really just give Avant a little bit of a real hard-fought, maybe not hard-fought match, a destructive one from the Chiefs side. Avant find it hard-fought to bring something into the areas of maybe, you know, double digits, which they admittedly have now found. So they're definitely here to play. They've definitely done their research and restructured Nuke, it kind of seems, in how to tackle the Chiefs right now. But, you know, I feel like we are missing the factor of the Chiefs that we saw on Mirage.
Definitely. So setting back, waiting for the utility to head over. All the AKs out for Avant, really not needing to play around any sort of AWP at the moment. Ultimately, the rifles are enough to get the job done for the time being. Spotted out towards Secret. There'll be some Zeph footsteps running back as Avant do start to overwhelm and once again take back control. Very nice pick though from APOC, and a crucial round that they need to win once more. He finds himself in a very, very awkward and difficult situation now. Running on up will be Sterling. This is a good start to the round here. Now they have to really maintain this control, the Chiefs. Yeah, I'm going to be just waiting on the other side of the heaven, but the good thing is they're burning a lot of time for Avant.
So there's another duel that APOC Dud will win against APOC right now, but it's going to be Yam and Admin looking to swipe some cards to permit entry, and he will permit entry. Has been doing so, and some more kills to be collected upon. Zeph will find off. New time of the essence ticking on down. If the bomb is denied from being planted, it could spell disaster for Avant, but it will go down. Zeph's location's known. Hazard will look for a swing right now, but who's going to win the duel? It is Hazard indeed. Vexite, I think he was heard going down the vent. Now the flash will reveal himself. He gets in front of the Molotov, the HE grenade, sorry. But Sterling will catch him in the end, and Conky, my sir, we're tied up, and there's no real money for Chiefs to permit a buy right now, so it might be Avant taking the lead.
Someone's cut off the Chiefs' water or something, because that tap was turned on, but now it has certainly been shut off by a mile, unfortunately. You know, the Chiefs have really gone cold in these last few rounds, and that's not to take anything away from Avant, because they've been playing really, really well, but it just almost seems like whenever Avant start to throw that uncomfortable aggression, Chiefs panic. They don't know how to react to it, and that's where Avant thrive, because this is a map that Chiefs should not be losing, right? We were talking about it being almost 100% of a given to the Chiefs, and if they were feeling themselves, which clearly they don't seem to be, they wouldn't be having any issues on a map like this. And they started off so strong to win out the half on T side, to then get the pistol, and now all of a sudden they're just sort of limping through round after round, not having any answers, and Sterling's just able to farm. Even Versus pulled out of a pretty rough situation in the past as well. But across the board, you know, Chiefs performing evenly. Just what's going on?
I was going to say, in recent history, it's usually been, you know, your APOC and your Offnu who are really quiet at the beginning of the match, and they look to really warm up towards the, you know, I mean, 7, 8 rounds, sort of 10 even. That's when they start to be brought into the matchup. But for right now, in this whole series, this whole grand final, they've been ready to go from the get-go. So whatever Avant have been doing before this grand final, they maybe look to do that before every match in a best of 3, even a best of 1 for that matter, because it's looking really good for them. And yes, it might be a little bit of a non-statistical heightened game for Versa right now, but you look at Mirage, he was really putting up those numbers. He was really finding the clutches where needed, all of those kills where needed, so it might not be looking too crash hot for him here on Nuke, but it's good to see that the whole team is being able to at least assist in those regards, and they're winning these duels. They're taking down the red in HP right now, but you know, Avant, they've gained control of this A side.
Yeah, once again, Chiefs have been sent out of the round, and they might actually be looking to save this one again, which I guess is the wise call. But the main thing is Chiefs, like, they're having to limp away from the site before they've really had a chance to do anything. You know, Avant are just doing very, very well at finding those openings, getting the early picks, and ultimately putting in the Chiefs into a position where they don't feel the comfort of being able to go back into this one. Yam has the kit as well. Like, this is technically a winnable round, but I don't blame the Chiefs for saving.
Yeah, I don't blame them for saving as well. You know, you talk about it, the difference between 3 saving and 2 saving. 3, usually you might be able to get out some extra weaponry and go for something a little bit more poetic in the next round. But for right now, Avant, they've got 2 rounds in the lead. Sterling, the timer, will get the better of them in the end. It's not a lot of time when the round actually, you know, comes to a close. So now, in talking about it, Mitch, we've got some drops happening for Humongous and Vexite. They'll be able to purchase up the utility, the armor, the kits behind them as well. There are enough kits for the Chiefs to be able to go in for a retake, provided that, you know, they're not forced into a save again, because Avant, I mean, they're 2 rounds away from at least putting us into overtime on this map, and then you might be thinking, okay, Chiefs, you know, usually you're really stellar on Nuke, or is something happening right now? Like, is there something we're not aware of, maybe?
I'm not sure. You know, again, obviously you never know exactly what's happening inside the TeamSpeak or inside the server. we're only just casters. That's all that we can really see throughout it. But moving on in, again, the ramp control will be taken by Avant, and immediately the Chiefs start to retreat, not having any additional control. Nuke is a close quarters map that can really sort of give reward when you do take that aggressive positioning on the map. Trying to, push up like what Apox was doing, and off to, we're going to take that out of control. And I mean, Yam at least is good for one, and the bomb's still in hand, but Apox picked up another as he lurks on towards the top of the site. And there might be an Apox dud being able to catch him off guard, but already these members head back up towards Mega. Sterling inside the dark position, but Versus already picked up one Apox dud. Great shot on the recovery, but he's down to 1 point of HP, and this is a 2 versus 3 retake. The Chiefs, again, they get the opening pick, but they're traded, and Apox dud has found another great shot. Humongous to get the nade towards Dark, but how do they even find this? They're moving in. They finally got the confidence, getting onto the defuse, the tap. But they're going to be able to find this. Apox, he's onto the defuse. Sterling, he found the shot. Humongous, be able to lock it down. Hang on a second. Chiefs have won the round. Out of the back of that play, if anything.
A pause to come down from Avant, maybe to slow it down. I mean, we know that the money is definitely going to be here for the T's, and even though Chiefs find that round, we're back to this, I say rare scenario. It's not that too rare that you win the round and you have less things to work with in the next one. They will have enough for these rifles and a little bit of utility, but if you're Avant and you're knowing of a possible situation right now, you're probably trying to draw out a lot of this Chiefs utility and then just capitalize on their weak point with a little bit of your own flashes, maybe a little bit of your own util to push them out, like old Vent, for instance. You get a flame there, you push them out, draw them into the open to take an easy duel. It definitely is still, in my mind, Avant in the driver's seat right now in this map, but there is, of course, Chiefs on that lane right next to them. So, yeah, I mean, with everything that we've seen so far in this map specifically, like, you can't really still... You can't put in favor who's going to win.
Yeah, and with a very nice opening there, picking up 2 before Apox is traded, and this is the aggression that we speak about, right? This nade from Zeph should do worlds of damage, but 2 members have now dropped down the vents, and they can start to reposition Chiefs. They need to gain control. They need to meet and greet these people. Ultimately, Apox is ready for it. Zeph starting to walk on in now. Should know the possible prospect that he does. Great peek there from Zeph as Vexite's going to be looking to join him now. Apox dud slowly making his way around. He's been spotted out by Versa. This is a very good flank from Versa. Apox dud has nothing to spot him out for, but Versa does now get the smoke grenade down. Hazza has to move around, and this is going to be a very, very difficult site for them to defend, but Versa pushing through the smoke, linking him down, and somehow, what is going on? Avant have won that round. Versa has gone huge again.
Yeah, I mean, look, you look at the kills on Versa, they might not be that high in this matchup, but the kills that he finds, they are absolutely instrumental. Pretty much in that round, that flank that we've seen, be a little bit reminiscent of Apox in this best of 5 so far. He pulls it out, and he's able to win it on through. He does give a little bit of a kiss to a Chiefs member in that smoke, but he finds the kills where need, and Avant, they win that round where potentially going into that retake, they might not have looked to do so, but yeah, really big props up to them. It's back to the drawing board on the pistols for the Chiefs right now to cook up a storm. We've seen Zeph find Apox. Also, Humongous has fallen in the mix towards Apox, so a bit of a trade just there. But, Avant, they're not leading anything to chance. They're slowing it down, making sure that all their corners are going to be cleared, because you still, even in a round such as this, even when the Chiefs don't have the best weaponry, the greatest weaponry, any weaponry at all for that matter, they're still plausible to win the round. Like, you can't count them out.
Absolutely not, especially with some of the Deagles in play. Of course, though, Hazza are able to find that, but there's Zeph, Vexite, here you go. Zeph and Vexite, we spoke about it though, right? These Deagles can get so much done. Zeph, I don't think they actually heard him here. I don't think they did. Versa's going to be ready for it though, and now it's all onto Yam, the coach, moving up into heaven. Versa, though, absolutely ready for it. Yam has such a big task to try and find this shot onto the other side of Tetris. He is starting to creep his way out now, checks below, and that's going to be Sterling spotting out the feet. He does drop onto the side here, but he's got no health to work with. 2 points of HP. Can he swing into Vine Versa? The answer is no, and that is going to be map point here for Avant. 15-12. Chiefs gave it their best in that round with the damage, but I just don't know what has happened to the Chiefs. These are good boys. And yes, sure, Avant are the favourites. Chiefs had a pretty, good run in, and I guess, Avant obviously lost to the Rooster only when they had Raz in the roster. It was basically like a chop and change 3-person roster that has sort of just been mishmashed together to try and get something to come through. But that's just the Avant story, right? We talked about it just from the start of the competition. Chiefs and Rooster said Avant are the favourites, dude, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, they definitely did. Avant have been able to find anything where they need to. I look at last round, Yam on 2 HP, thought he would actually fall to his death when he caught the little lip at the top of that yellow, whatever it is that you fall down on towards door thing. Anyways, 2 missed shots on these AWPs in this round for the Chiefs. Yam has missed one and Apogdad has missed one. 2 crucial kills that if they found, they would have put this round potentially into their favor. Yam took the HE grenades in the beginning down towards 14 again. I've seen a lot of HP down towards 14 on his body on this matchup so far. I'm just noticing that in the little my mind right now. But Zeph's lost his life. Avant, they haven't had any damage over towards their bodies right now, and there is still a minute to play with as well. They'll be able to steer themselves wherever they want in towards A. If they look to shine it up, they could go for the vent drop. They could wait for the player in burst in outers, see if he can catch any info. But Apoc, he's just going to find Humongous scot-free.
Well, I don't really know what to say too much. I mean, Vexite's going to go huge with a couple, but already we see the game go back the way of Avant, and these guys are just playing so well, not losing their cool in any way, shape, or form, and they've picked up 2 maps already. All they need is 1 more, despite the Chiefs having that 1 map advantage. Matt, can you break that down better than we could?
I mean, I don't think it's possible, right? You can just look at the score and see what happened. The Chiefs still giving them a good fight, but can't quite close out a game. Avant, they're on a roll, 2 games in a row already, and now they get to go to Dust 2 to see if they can close out the series. I mean, look, it is feeling like it's all AV, but Chiefs are certainly making them work for us. So who knows what's going to happen, but you guys can find out after the break.
Want a $300 broadband credit on the house? Switch to an eligible Vodafone home broadband plan before 27 October and you'll get a massive $300 broadband credit to get you started. Join now by calling 0800 533 020. Exit fees and terms apply.
Welcome back, everyone, to the LPL Pro CSGO Grand Final, brought to you by Conquer. And we are pretty deep into the series now. 2 games, in fact, although you can kind of consider it 3 with Chiefs having 1 map advantage. But, I mean, that advantage isn't helping them out right now, guys, because Avant have taken 2 games today. And so, now, Chiefs have the back against the wall. So, Conky, I'm going to come to you, CSGO expert. What do you do when you're just this close away? You know, it's a few rounds that the Chiefs need. What do they do to boost themselves to get a win?
Just kill him, dude. That's seriously, just grow up and just get some frags, man. I tell you, no, that's absolutely a lie. But no, I don't know. Whatever has occurred, I feel like the Chiefs just went really, really cold. And that's when Dion sort of raised the point, you know, what has been going on inside that server? Because something that we should never, ever, quote unquote, see is the fact that, you know, they were able to, lose 9 rounds pretty much consecutively on the T side, which is just crazy. Like, Avant were just super dominant and Chiefs felt like they had almost no control. They basically opened up the door, said, come in and party and destroy our Airbnb, and then we'll pay the bond on the way out for some reason.
Yeah, no one gets the bond back. It's all a disaster for everyone. But Komodo, look, you coming into this one, and so far, Avant, it just feels like they've got some kind of X factor coming into these matches. It's that little bit of an extra edge. So I guess this is sort of the reverse of what I've asked Conky is, how do you keep it going for Avant? You know, how do you just never let Chiefs even get a foot in the door?
I think for Avant, it's a bit of a coupling of they had 2 grand finals this week. They've already taken out the first one. Try to claim the second one. They'll be more hungrier than the Chiefs potentially to try and do so just in that factor. So also in the fact that Chiefs had that map advantage, you know, again, it's for Avant that they have to be putting on a show. I guess maybe more so the Chiefs by a little tiny bit, but now that the tables have turned, you know, Chiefs haven't been able to find anything bar a couple of close maps, right? So we now go into Dust 2, which if you think about things, if people have done their research, the quote right there, it's Dust 2, and we know how Avant are on Dust 2. It's one of their best maps that they love to play.
Yeah, it's no surprise. I mean, if you saw them play it last week, I mean, all I remember is Sterling being a god and just being the king of mid, getting the AWP kill 4 rounds in a row, I think it was. So, you know, every round was basically Rooster 1 man down. So the guy, Sterling, was on fire. He's on fire tonight as well, you guys. You know, I don't quite hear his name being called out so much, but the man, you look at the numbers and they don't lie.
Yeah.
He's very consistent of a player. I feel like, you know, pretty much every single game he goes into, he's always sort of doing something. You know, he's a pivotal part of the roster. He's got the international experience. He obviously played against played under the Greyhound banner for a little while prior to Sicko moving in, you know, or probably maybe a bit around a year and a half ago, but then he went back to the Berlin Minor with this Avant roster. It was a little bit different at the time, but, you know, the man's been around and obviously, you know, well-deserved. He's an incredible player. But look, hopefully the Chiefs don't mold it like some of the people in the chat. But we'll have to, hope that Avant, because look, again, at the end of the day, if Avant win 3-1, like with the 1 map advantage, of course, 3-0, I guess you want to call it that way, it's like, that's pretty rough for the Chiefs. You know, I need to see them really start to shine now. They definitely have the capacity. They're a good Dust 2 team. We know that. But whatever is going on, like, I just, like, if the Chiefs are watching this right now, which they shouldn't be, by the way, have faith in yourself, boys, because I know you got it in ya. But also, with that being said, Avant, man, like, well done, because if these guys take this, that means they'll win MDL and LPL back-to-back, which is pretty huge.
I mean, sure, but let's be right here in the moment for the Chiefs, is that they might have dropped the first 2 maps, but they were competitive. You know, they're not maps that have just been thrown out of the bin. They've been leading at certain points. So for the Chiefs, right, I mean, they should still be feeling all right. And they're an experienced team, so I can't imagine they'll be looking for it. But look, Komodo, for Dust 2, you know, they've got to get back on their feet a little bit. They've actually been, I'm pretty sure, still the only ones doing the tack pauses right now. So are they the ones that, you know, is the onus on them to make the more structured plays, because it's Avant beating them mechanically and Avant beating them in structured plays too?
Yeah, I think to a degree it's definitely going to be onto the Chiefs now more so than Avant. You know, Avant well versed in Dust 2. I guess as opposed to the Chiefs as they are as well. But it'll need to be more seen that the Chiefs to catch Avant off guard or to be dominating in those set plays to come on out. You know, all of their executes and making sure, I guess, that they able to lock down the B side as well to make sure that those retakes don't come on through, because as we know, B side on Dust 2 can be a fickle thing, and you know, the long presence, all those flashes to go out and stuff. So I think when it comes to it, you know, Avant, yeah, they're definitely in the driver's seat. The Chiefs, they'll more often than not need to catch Avant off guard.
Yeah, well, I mean, speaking of catching off guard, right? I mean, Conky, Avant, you look at how they've been playing and off APOC. I mean, half those guys' kills must have been at people that weren't even looking at them throughout those matches. That's how good they've been flanking so far. So is Dust 2, this is going to be my question, is Dust 2 a map that kind of rewards that playstyle? Because it's certainly been working out for Avant so far.
Yeah, two of the biggest things on a map like this, and also I do need to actually credit, like, I think Offnu's basically 1 versus 5, obviously, where he went for that play and was able to time around Humongous because he knew exactly where he was, and then to go for the gamble to walk all the way around and having to be, you know, I don't know, man. Like, I was lost for words in that situation. So massive shouts to Offnu for that play. That was, yeah, again, probably the play of the tournament if I can put one down right now. But a map like Dust 2, you know, obviously I do see quite regularly APOC will be looking to push in towards those upper tunnels on B, but that won't be for a few rounds. You know, they'll wait to sort of see what sort of presence Chiefs are showing before he can go into those plays. So that's kind of almost something that the Chiefs can even look to go for, right? The old bait into submission. It's like, hey, we've got no presence in towards tunnels. Like, let's you know, wait if APOC's going to push this. Versus also been doing the same thing. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like, hopefully, again, all I want, and it's only strictly for the sake of the game, is that Chiefs do something to pull out of the hat and make it explosive, because Mirage was insane. It started to slip on Nuke because that was the one we expected Chiefs to win, and Avant to win it cleanly. Again, it'll be deserved as anything, but we need some more spice in the end of this series.
Oh, well, look, Conky, get the kitchen ready, because the map is ready. We can get that spice all out, ready to get our meal tasting absolutely scrumptious, because this could potentially be the last map of the season. Avant looking for the clean sweep here on Dust 2, and Chiefs looking to bring it back.
Dust 2, Dion.
Dust 2.
Dust 2. It is here. The map, the third of the series, but technically the fourth, if you want to call it that much. Obviously, that means that, you know, we haven't seen any sort of swift 3-0s or anything along the way of the Chiefs, despite the fact that that actually could have been a prospect the way they started out Mirage, but then, you know, the wheel sort of fell off, and hopefully now we're going to see something close again. Avant could win it all here. Chiefs still in it with a chance, but now pressure lies on the Chiefs. See what they can do here on Dust 2. They're starting off on the T side. Dion, take it away.
Yeah, kind of interesting actually, because I believe that Avant have pulled out the Dust 2 pick here, so it means that the Chiefs have opted to start on the Dust on the T side of Dust 2, which, I mean, you know, it's something that we do see time and time again. It's not never a thing, but the bomb has been planted regardless now for the Chiefs, looking to punch some digits with the pistols. Is Avant, however, looking to claim another pistol round, as they've claimed, you know, more so than the Chiefs have been able to in this grand final so far. And on that bomb defuse, Steph will lose his life to Hazza, and Versa on 1 HP. But a saving grace for him there, but the defuse nevertheless, and Avant will find the pistol. I do wonder though, Mitch, I can't for the life of me actually remember if all of the pistols have been found by Avant. I think on Nuke, did the Chiefs find...
Ooh, hang on. Yeah. So Mirage, they won both.
Yeah.
Nuke, they definitely won.
They won
the
first one. Avant won the first one. I think they won the second as well, hey.
Yeah, I think they did. I think Avant have now won all 5 pistols. Pretty crazy prospect to think about. Yeah, that's right. Because Vexite clutched out a 1v2. Versa clutched out a 1v2. Yeah. Anyway, wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild to think about.
Well,
so moving in towards mid. Yeah, go on.
All 5 pistols for Avant, and now they're not going to try and drop this second round because the buy came out from the Chiefs. The shadow will be revealed. Just going to be able to clean the life. But now 2 members of the Chiefs. They are looking hungrier than ever to be able to get back into this. Seth just wants to not take his teammate's head off, but he will remove hazards. And as I steal the words away from Mitch, the bomb will go down for the Chiefs, and he can have the words back.
Yeah, I'm going to get that smoke grenade down, narrowly missing the shot. Not going to be able to find it, though. Ultimately, 4 versus 2. Looking to take that control is Versa, but again, this is just going to be a save round. APOC happy to just sort of walk into the backyard with Versa and make sure that they save those rifles on into the next round. So Chiefs, despite losing every single pistol in this series so far, they have won a few of the second rounds to go along with it, which is definitely not a bad result, because by doing that, you can really upset the apple cart. And Zeph, what did he do? He had confidence in himself. He went big and ultimately was able to find that round. So well done from the Chiefs. Be able to get this 1-1 scoreline up. And Avant, still with that map advantage, moving 2-1. Let us see what else can come out from the Chiefs. So saving will be Avant. They're going to reforce into it, obviously, around the FAMAS and the MP9. But Chiefs, they're going to be able to invest up a little bit more as well. There's definitely going to be a gun on the ground somewhere for Vexite. There's the AK, and now they move with momentum. What do they got for us as we see an early aggressive long play come out, as they are going to be flashed off the line, but then the smoke grenade goes down. So looks like Avant, they're going to take control towards it early on, and yeah, does. Yes.
Yeah, but B is going to be taken for Chiefs control right now as they will enter the belly of the beast. Wonder what's going to happen when we get into our rifle rounds over in that bomb site. Humongous is going to catch off, no looking the wrong way, though Hazard's Deagle is punishing. A scout will be collected, can give over towards Sterling in the next round if they do hold it on through. Because the money situation for Avant, it's not going to be that too crash hot for a great purchase in the next one. Maybe they do go for another eco and see what they're going to be able to do. After the fact, they'll get all of their rifles, the AWP, and the utility behind it, of course. So I would say probably the wiser option. We know it's us too. It's very early in the piece, so they definitely can afford I guess maybe a little bit of a slip up to be able to regain control, because Avant are going to be feeling more comfortable now that they've got the map advantage as they do lead by 1. The fact that Chiefs actually haven't pulled out a map of play just yet, and that it is Dust 2, it's the pick of Avant, right?
It is indeed. But the Chiefs, what have they been good at doing, Dion? Winning T-sided rounds and leading strong into the first half. What have they also been good at doing? Losing maps. So hopefully we do see something different going into this one. That felt like really heavy BM. It wasn't at all, by the way. Kisses and hugs to the chefs, as always. But it is just something that really makes me wonder what is going on with their confidence and things like that, because this is 5 incredible players, and sure, Avant have just sort of seemed to have an answer for whatever that they're doing, but I don't know. I'm just kind of surprised by this result so far, Again, Avant were the favourites. I was sort of maybe thinking towards a 3-2. And that is still a chance. Chiefs could very well win this one, and we could get to that 2-2 scoreline. Yeah, looking to pick up the AWP over APOC Dud. And maybe that's going to be the change that they need. It's only really starting on this map of D2. Great pick from APOC Dud there to take down Sterling. It's all on the Versa now. He's been spotted out, so this is a good economics position established for the Chiefs. But again, it's something we saw in Mirage. It's something we saw in Nuke. Chiefs got off to a really good start, but then Avant chased them down like a hungry wolf that hasn't been eating, catches them at the as they sort of lag behind, the weaker links that are just getting picked off.
Yeah, well, speaking of a weaker link, if, and this is not to put any shame on any of these players, not to say any pointing fingers or whatever, but in Versa still being one of the newest recruits and at this level of play, not have that much experience, I guess you'd say. We know that he plays on the B site, so maybe that could be some place that Chiefs do look to put a lot of pressure on towards, but they are in the current time doing that up towards short. They've won a couple of these duels, and out through towards the mid to B, it may just be reliant upon Versa to try and lock down the fort of this B bomb site right now to peek out through the window at the opportune timing. Will catch APOC done in the bomb, and also Yam looking the wrong way. Reveals to start to come through as Sterling prods through the smoke and finds Vexite. Huge plays coming down from Avant in this round. We saw some big plays from Chiefs as well, not to be mistaken, but now it's on Zeph versus Sterling. 1 versus 1, seen with the open double doors. Zeph will get caught with a Molotov in his hand. Never bring out Util in a 1 versus 1. Good sirs, and Avant, they will win their first big old buy round.
Well done there from Avant. Versa had to go pretty big there. It can be quite the challenge and the task to lock down that B site, especially on his lonesome mostly. So that was a big play to come out to drop the bomb, deny the position of the Chiefs on the B split, and ultimately to Sterling to close it out into 1 versus 1. So Avant now going for the early pick will be humongous. Nothing is there though, and he does start to burn down. We'll send the AWP back to APOC Dud. but it actually might be wise to send it back to Hugh, given that he is very, very low. Bogdan's Law still lives on. Zeph looking to peek around. Might actually find something here, but okay, APOC. Apparently way more confident to be able to swing around there, especially given the fact that Zeph is 9-3, and he's been able to find that frag, so very, very well done. So 5 versus 4, Avant get the man advantage, and Chiefs slowly start to creep their way up towards short, but Sterling is still holding long this late into the round, and I don't know if Humongous is going to be ready for that.
Now Sterling's going to pull out a Molotov, not an incendiary grenade at the current junction. Humongous will be taken down 25 as his teammates do look to extend out into this A-bomb site. Opno doesn't even need to push the issue right now. He can just wait at the back of this ramp, although the Flames might give and lay his hand in towards some sort of duel, though he will manage to slide on by behind them. The bombs will be planted as APOC finds APOC Dud. Ofnu finds Yam, and this round has just turned upside down for the Chiefs unless Humongous and Vexite can bring something back. Vexite's managed to find APOC, however, with the time ticking away, and Sterling propped up the line on toward the wizard location where Vexite will swing on through. No magic to come out from him, unfortunately. And Ofnu will also decapitate Humongous. That's upgraded rifles for Avant now, although Hazard didn't get the memo, still with that MP9, though it might actually be okay, because it should be, I was going to say it might be a half buy to come through from the Chiefs, though Yam's already got out that AK-47. So the buy's going to be here for the Chefs. 3-3, we balance out. Back for another bit of a, similar sort of round than we just saw, but maybe Chiefs look to go in with the different strategy, slow things down. They've already seen Sterling find Yam in through towards mid. Location not damaged, though.
Information is the big play of the game here, but yes, you're exactly right. Sterling to be peeking onto that early line. APOC's already walked down lowers, taking down Zeph, and this is the Avant that we know, though, right? Ofnu is actually going for this aggressive play. Will be punished by APOC Dud, but that's, again, a man advantage picked up by Avant, and one thing that Chiefs haven't been very good at doing recently is playing from behind. You know, they sort of allow themselves to get caught off guard in these 1 versus 1 sort of situations. Hazard able to fire a couple of warning shots through the smoke, and it is a little bit awkward for APOC Dud. Now the boost, they're going to be ready for it though, and this is a good play from Humongous, but it seems to be regularly, these one-man plays that is what is really bringing the Chiefs forward, and I suppose that's sort of maybe the, structural disconnect in their roster. Looking to get an engineer to sort of survey that one, but until then, it's going to be APOC Dud locking down this line, and he does miss the shot. Very out of character for our old mate there, but Vexite will be able to pick up the shot. Oh, APOC Dud does miss another, but it is a bit of a challenge here now. APOC moving in quickly, but Vexite will hold the line and doing the heavy lifting here for the Chiefs in the 4th round. The 4th for the Chiefs. Avant behind by 1. But man, oh man, the Chiefs, again, they've been able to get through, but it's almost at Avant's sort of failed position. I don't know how to call it. Chiefs, they can win this game. They just need to step up.
Yeah, it's rounds being won by the Chiefs that don't feel as comfortable and consistent as you would like, where Avant's rounds that they have found, it feels like they've been finding it with more tact and with more boom, more impact. So it is going to be onto the Chiefs right now on the T side of Dust 2, where they can come out with all the strategies that they need to. They should, by all means, have strats locked down. They are a T1 team in our region. They are versatile around all of the maps. They will be comfortable in playing whatever they do come out with, except maybe the standard overpass that is their perma veto, which is big sad. But the pistols are here for Avant, and disregard this round. I guess the Chiefs will find 5. The buyer will come back for Avant, and then it is going to be the question being raised here, Mitch. Chiefs, are you going to be able to win another rifle round and do it with prowess?
Okay. So a clean round for the Chiefs, a little bit messy in the sense that they've taken some damage, and I guess the main factor is here, often he's not going to have the full money that he would love, but ultimately, they do manage to bring around some rifles for everyone. No kits, though, which is one big issue always. However, the Chiefs, again, they're moving on to this round. APOC Dud has the AWP. They've got money. They've got everything that they need in the back pocket to get the job done, and it's going to be okay. This is a much better position, but they have to get moving. It is still yet to be smoked, and Yam has just decided to dry peek into Sterling. Why is that not smoked, Chiefs? You tell me right now, and my level 4 face-it brain as to why this position has occurred. Versa does pick up one more. An Ofnu left. Has to walk to the smoke. He's come down 1. Luckily traded by Vexite, but now Hazard, he's moved through, and it's all into a 1 versus 3 for APOC Dud, despite Chiefs having everything in their positional advantage. And now he has to try and go massive, but already look at this position on the flank. It's APOC again. You know, would you have any other person doing it?
That's exactly right. Any minimum shots for the Chiefs. That's a superior shot to come on through. Will be put to rest by the flanking APOC in the end. I want to, though, bring it back from your level 4 face it to my level 8 face it rank here, Mitch, for a second.
Oh, cringe, dude. My HLTV rating's better than yours.
Dude, we're 0.57. We are the same, remember? But no, I agree with you. Yam peeking out him through towards mid to B there without any coverage of the smoke is quite interesting and a little bit questionable. But with the smoke going down in the end, you know, Avant, they were able to just get all those kills where they needed to. Ultimately winning out the round. For the Chiefs, though, if they did smoke out that mid to B area, they had mid to B free of charge. They just stormed out with no return from Avant whatsoever. They found the gap and they found a potential loophole to punish in this game. But the catch-22 is that, you know, they get all those kills. They were ready. It's like a back and forth nature. So they know.
I just, like, to be able to storm through mid that early and have no smoke grenade down, like, maybe there's a decision for that to happen. I don't know, but, you know, with Sterling up on the AWP, it's got to be expected, right? That he's going to be playing towards his usual A position.
I'd understand if it was the AWPer to peek first, like if Yam had an AWPer, it was APOC done, but the fact that it was a rifle for that long a distance with no util, even a flash going over from short. If someone flashed short and then peeked in mid to B, okay, it's fine, because you flash anyone who would be looking towards that deep mid B area from maybe car, maybe from the ramp, right? But no, there was no util, it was just a dry run out, and it was completely dry, and it just left a sour taste in my mouth.
Well, because it was a good read otherwise, right? I was like, okay, there's 4 members of Avant towards long. All they have to do is kill Versa. But anyway, it is what it is. There's now Hazard on the other side of the pool. He's going to be able to strike on up, and he's found 2.5. Not quite the third. Now Sterling is there, does turn away from the flash. Now Zeph trying to get him. Oh, that is such good patience there. I'm trying to remember the clip.
Toby.
I think it's.
Legend.
Oh, what is it? It's no. Everyone in the chat will know. It's Tariq trying to shoulder out Brax, and he's just shoot. That reminded me of that.
It's always the case, though, isn't it? Because if you shoot, you're 99% gonna miss, and then you're dead. You get swung on. But no. Avant, they will tie up. It's on to an eco for the Chiefs right now, and I'm surprised in these 10 rounds we haven't actually seen a pause come out from the T-sided team right now, because, you know, they love to bring them out when things weren't going their way, and it feels like it hasn't been going their way for a couple of the previous rounds. So maybe when they get their rifles in their hands, if they don't pick one up in the next one, if they do lose this next purchase round, we will probably see a pause come out from them. But I am liking that they have free reign of this short area. Now Sterling has found some information and get a little bit of punishment coming on through with the boomstick. There might not be a plant to come through from the Chiefs anymore, but they'll use this round as a bit of a free timeout. You'd expect to see how they will renegotiate back into this game.
Sterling sort of just farming up the stats right now. You got to be happy with that one if you're him. All on the Vex site, 1 versus 5. Probably nothing he can really get done here. Maybe 1 kill or something along those lines. But Sterling, he was watching towards short, but Yam, Offmid rather, going to be able to take down Vex site as he does try to move in towards mid. Ultimately here, 6 versus 5 on the scoreboard. And yeah, look, I don't know. Chiefs just, you probably explained it pretty good. Chiefs are like the rounds that they win, they're really good, but then they just look pretty rough for the rest of it.
Pretty rough indeed. Straight in towards the grind. We've seen this position from Hazard before. I wonder if Chiefs are going to expect it. I more just wonder if it's going to be Yam expecting it right now, because he is the only one here. He's going to shoulder it out. He's going to util. He's going to take the head off of Hazard. The first up has managed to find 1. The smoke down to mid to B. It has happened this time, and it is working wonders with the flashbang. Catches Huey off guard. I think Versa threw it himself, because we saw no assist in that kill feed. And my oh my, how quickly the tables have turned. Dust 2 B site is a big fickle thing right now, and it's looking like there's no shenanigans to come through from Avant. Zeph falls, 3 alive for the CTs on this double AWP demolition, and well, they are now trying to find 1 more to catch the half.
Oh, how the turntables, am I right, gamers, as Avant 7-5. It is, once again, the Chiefs starting off real red hot, but then Avant, you know, coming back and giving them the old left-right good night. And with the double up setup, APOC just peeking mid like there's no respect here right now. It's like Avant have just straight up gone, we are the better team.
We are
Ofnu already up short. This is only an eco round, sure. I can't, overly criticize or anything like that. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's just been looking like a very, very clean run. Chiefs just looking a little bit disconnected. Maybe the comms have gone quiet. I don't know. Can't seem to work it out. Put my finger on it. But they are walking out long now. Humongous and Vexite. Just waiting. Hazard up on the site. Might be able to drop him down, but just patiently waiting now.
Patiently waiting indeed. We will have those rifles in the next round for the Chiefs, but as I said, I draw it back to what I said. No pauses come through from them when they did lose that rifle round. So kind of feel like, the head chef right now is maybe throwing a little bit of a spanner in the works for everybody and not let them know that there is an inspector coming in through to the day to get everything nice and clean, get everything tasting fresh and smelling good. So Avant now, they will lead at the half no matter what. It is definitely on to the Chiefs. Can you find anything more on this T side right now? Because I'm expecting Avant to look explosive on the get-go on their own T side.
Already up top mid. Look at this. Just 20 seconds in the round. Sure, his head gets ripped off as a result, but now they're running through long, heading through smokes. APOC is there. So is Hazard. And at least they only let Vexite go and die on his own. They decide to reposition instead, heading back towards B, but they haven't really had a whole lot of success towards B. It's Versa being that small side anchor that's just managed to go huge. He's just playing the passive angle here. So Avant, they've already won out the half. They just need 2 more, and as you mentioned, they always look super, super good on Dust 2. Little smoke grenade down to give Versa some additional time, and the flashbang now. Versa's going to be able to get that smoke to help himself, but Zeph finding the frag, and now Sterling to climb up, does pick up one, narrowly missing the second. Oh, that's a little bit rough there for Sterling. Sure, he might be able to find that one as now Yam does charge on up, planting for the tunnel, but already, again, Hazard has found his way into that position. Zeph needs to be wary of the prospect. He surely is going to be looking to peek in for that one. Hazard definitely ready for it, but so is Zeph. Very nice shot there. He has to go here to sort of give some space for the Chiefs, and he's doing exactly that. And once again, Chiefs, they win a round off a big individual performance of Zeph. And 15-9 right now. This poor man has got the whole team in his backpack.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate, I guess, all things considered, because a lot of the kills from him has been maybe converted into the rounds that they've been able to win as well. So moves on over into the last round of this halfway. Yam will remove the head of Versa with no information given. APOC to return onto APOC Dud. Hey, it's a little bit of a change in the APOC-ish name game, but shots in towards the B site, as we've already given control over towards to Zeph. None other than Zeph, positions known. This round just feels weird. Nobody knows what's going on. I can't connect it. Yam will find another headshot with the AWP. The doors will be smoked, and it's going to be a 3-3 retake.
So how do they go for this retake? Again, we speak about it. It is a very, very challenging one, but I suppose the whole thing is the bomb is only just going down, and Zeph, okay, going huge, defending Vexite like it's his anime girlfriend. As now Vexite moves on through the doors and is able to find the closing kill. So apparently Chiefs have won a couple of rounds. It's taken them a little while to do so, but now they might be able to smack back towards Avant. They need to do it now. It is strictly do or die.
Indeed. Avant's T side to start now. I'm expecting explosiveness. I've already put down the statement. Are they going to claim another pistol? Are they going to drop one? More importantly, let's see. Let's find out. Off to an APOC to pick up some util. The remainder of the squad picking up the Kevlar. Flip side, APOC Dud on the kit and the flashes. But it is this 3 CT side approach over towards long and 2 in B. Giving over the control of short and mid. Avant, none of the wires are just yet toward it. I would love to see Chiefs prod in towards bedroom. Not get caught sleeping though, as Zeph is going to get dinked on down, looking for a duel that he will ultimately win. And information that the bomb is moving up through towards short as well, though no shufflings for the Chiefs. Not really, as they know that with a minute on the clock still over to play with, that it could go back to B.
Definitely could. Moving their way up short, though, now, as Humongous is going to be the man to try and defend. He spotted out, but there's the first shot. The good flash comes up. 1, 2, and 3. That is a beautiful defense. And Chiefs, they finally won a pistol round. It's beautiful to see a little mwah as it goes through. Chiefs tie up the scoreline 8-8. Avant, no bomb plant. They're not going to be buying into this one. And yeah, look, there's a potential route now that Chiefs start to do something, but I am still got my eyes firmly on Avant and what they might be able to do with these pistols.
Yeah, well, they have 4 starts, so no save. It's going to be onto a big eco if they do lose out this round. APOC does start things off and finding APOC. It actually goes back in towards the favor that it's been going for time and time again in this matchup so far. Hazard is swinging out the mid doors, however, and remove the head of Yam. A trade from Zeph on towards the Sir Hazard just then, and things are starting to go back in towards Chiefs' favor. It's Zeph, of all players in the game, to again just absolutely dominate in the kill department right now. APOC does going to change over from the scout to the famous distance game, though. Could have potentially caught Sterling if he peeked up through towards mid, and by all means now the Chiefs, they are starting to get things happening in towards this game, but they need this map, and then they need to also try and close out the final one, which would be Inferno?
Yeah, Inferno.
Yeah.
The final map, Inferno. What a place to be. Obviously, it is the Classico for the old 5th map classic. I don't know. I just kind of lost my words a little bit there, but that's okay. Thinking about Disco Inferno. Where is that man? I hope he's doing well. But now Avant go for the save. Just the Tech 9 in the hands of Hazard. APOC with the double flash. Yeah, Zeph is going very, very big in this game. And that's what I don't want to ever see. Like, any team... look, I guess it works. You know, Vitality was kind of that, but at least Vitality have changed their roster up a little bit. You know, G2, I suppose, used to be with Kenny S or whatever it was, like once upon a time, like all these different things. But, yeah, look, you never want to see a team really that, like, has to rely on one player. It's got to be a team game. Okay, Hazard. Hazard has done a lot of work here. Luckily, though, Yam is there to deny. Now APOC trying to drop into CT. Humongous will find him. And, yeah, okay, here we go. 10 rounds for the Chiefs, 2 to lead. And let's just hope they can continue and keep their top for APOC done everything that they could possibly need. Double AWP setup even. Let's make the call. Here we go.
Just trying to remember, I believe Avant did find double digits first for the match on Nuke, but I think Chiefs found their double digits like 11 to 10 or something. I'm just trying to exactly remember. So it's good to see that Chiefs found double digits first. They now just need to make sure that Avant don't also chase up and find double digits to cement themselves victory in this map. In this round, though, the AWPs are working wonders for the Chiefs. A bit of extra utility damage is going to tickle Hazard's fancy. Offnu going to be pushed up, or pushed off rather, the mid doors, as he does manage to get the progression smoke on through, potentially to go up through shorts, as Chiefs won't have that information if Avant wanted to go up through towards there. I do lie, though, as I see Vexite has piqued his interest over towards that area. So it's back onto, you know, Avant to try and navigate themselves around this round. Maybe even if they wanted to, they could try and save this weaponry and attempt again into the next one, but they are just going to be waiting and relying upon Chiefs to, I guess, give them a little bit of insight into this round, give them a free frag maybe to get back into it, because this, by all means, is Chiefs' round to lose.
100%. They just need to not overstep and just continue to lock down the positions that they have, because I really like this setup, you know, getting the double position towards long. APOC done with the AWP. There's the opening shot, finds Hazard. Humongous in a good position as well. That is an excellent reflash. So if you guys want to know how to play around a CS, that one was one. Just so you guys all know. Chiefs executed it perfectly, and now I expect them to all run down mid and die into the next round.
Chiefs are Avant, because
please don't do that.
Team on the pistols. All right, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. The Prophet Conky.
Yeah. Where did they go? Let's see.
Well, it's looking like we're going to steer clear of mid right now and direct ourselves over towards B, where Yam is going to lock down the site with the FAMAS. Though just these pistols for Avant, a bit of a half buy. They've got the Kevlar and Util behind it. A lot of smokes though, so it's going to be a full execute over towards B. But the pistols to potentially do something. No flames though over towards tunnels just yet, which could really help the case of Avant, though Zeph is here to pry eyes and peek over from above with that AWP. Minute 20, execute to go down. Will Avant, though, stop and not go with it, or will they choose to? It's looking like they are going to go with it now. Yam's board's missing the mark. He's good for one. Now it is on to Zeph with that AWP to potentially get something happening. There's going to be chickens all around this coop right now as Yam will be put to rest. The pistol's getting work done as the plant can now go down as well. So no one's looking up towards heaven as Vexite rips them apart 2-2.
This is where the pressure does start to amount though, right, Dion? You know, it's a 2 versus 2, and somehow it's something that Avant does always seem to sort of thrive in. That's a good Molotov to bounce off the wall, but they're not going to quite get it over just yet. Maybe in a second, he will look to send it. Humongous is just making sure nothing is spotted. Yeah, exactly. They're wary for sure. And I guess they're a little bit nervous because look at the amount of control that Avant have been able to establish without anything really to work with except for the pistols. Off news here. He's got the rifle. He's holding close. Sterling is very, very low, but they have to get moving now. Chiefs have faffed around a little bit too long. Now they have to get rocking and rolling. Will they check underneath? Off news got to be Molotov down, but they're cutting the time. So fine. Sterling just needs to hit one more shot. APOC done. APOC done. No! Chiefs! Why?
You know what, though? It brings it back to last time it was us two with Sterling around that B site. It was a couple of weeks ago where he had an AWP in his hand and a pistol. And remember, he just absolutely won it. He caught the last kill in midair. I think it was Sterling, right? It was to win the map, I think, maybe. But yeah, by all means, Avant shouldn't have won that round on paper, but they have. And that's counter-striking the AU region for you. I'm expecting the chat to be molding like Conky right now as we have a break. The teams in this game realize that the casters needed a break more so than themselves.
Fair enough. Oh, bro. It's just like,
damn, though.
Look, you know, those rounds happen all the time, and it's like, man, well done, Sterling, you absolute beast to hit those shots. But, like, what were they doing, dude? I mean, why are they so scared? And I guess that's the credit to Avant, right? Avant are so good in the eyes of the Chiefs that they're just being really, really worried about it, you know, making sure they check every single thing, clearing angles that don't even exist, basically, just in the fear that Avant will come over and dominate, and that's exactly what they did. So here's hoping that Chiefs will be able to be consistent. But yeah, again, yeah, you're right. Sterling's already all the way down mid. And hey, do you know what they're going to do? They're going to smoke this thing. They're going to smoke this. Hang on. There it is. See that? Never mind. They're going to wait.
Spoken earlier. Look, if they double clear off the back, then it's okay. Versus taking a duel against Humongous, it's not going to go anywhere. They're going to give each other a little bit of a light handshake. No firm handshakes just yet. And then they're going to go their separate ways. Sterling to be posted up towards the window. Going to be relying upon APOC to potentially put some pressure in through from the tunnels. Fade out this utility of the Chiefs, and then we'll have the mid-split coming out from the B location. This is going to be a crunch on towards the side, though.
This is going to be rough.
Almost go the wrong way, and Yam, he's only good for one as well. So the plan can now go down as Sterling will be situated on the scaffolding. This utility usage, though, they'll be aware of it. A boost up in towards CT for Vexite as Sterling will escape, and by all means, Chiefs probably should be saving this.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't want to say that that's the correct decision, but I think it is. Unfortunately for the Chiefs, they'll have to hightail it out of there and, you know, live on once more. And that was a couple of really unfortunate sort of missed shots. And you can just tell that the Chiefs feel uncomfortable defending the site. Like, you know, obviously Avant, that was one thing that they're really, really good at, right? It's like, okay, I'm watching here, you're watching there. I'm not gonna take my crosshair away from this position because I know you've got my back. Whereas on the Chiefs, it doesn't look like they've built that team synergy just yet, which is surprising because all but Yam, and Yam's been playing with them enough that he should be feeling it with them, right? So I don't really know. It seems kind of wild to me that the Chiefs haven't been able to build that yet. I still have faith. I still have faith that they will. Because again, you know, these guys have the capacity to be an incredible roster. We are likely going to see some weapons dropped over from the Chiefs members to both Zeph and Yam. There we go. Famison and MP9. But Avant, they're starting to build up a nice little kitty now, and they have moved all the way in towards mid here.
We're going to do it again.
Sterling is already like, this is what I'm saying though, right? Sterling has all this control for basically free, and he's legged up Zeph, and he's still got the shot. Hazard is there. Yam now has to play close, and he's got a challenge. But Vexite has stepped up to the plate. Thank you. Versa now has to try find something. That smoke grenade should dissipate the Molotov, and it will. and a bit of a change of pace, because now what they have done is that the Avant side, they disconnected. APOC is off the plan. And look at how far Versa is away. They can get in here. If Chiefs retake this site now, they can do something. They can do something. There we go. All on the Versa now. And the Chiefs, they've done the business deal that needed to be established.
I was going to say I would kind of like to have seen Avant just leave the B site when they were in there and, you know, try to add a little bit of caution in the map there in the round for the Chiefs. You know, Versa was already outside A. Nearly, he could have just peeked out through bedroom, maybe pushed on all the way through, caught some information, but you know, Avant, they wanted to situate themselves in B. If the bomb plant went down, it could have potentially been a different story, but the standard utility to come out from the Chiefs denies that, and then they were able to all just push in towards the side, bully Avant, and they're able to claim out their 12th round. And now we have a pause come through, probably from the Chiefs yet again, as they'll need to settle themselves down after finding that round, but also, once again, to go back and decide how they're going to tackle out this remaining CT half. Like, are they going to go for a little bit of a boost short right now? Are they in a comfortable situation to justify even going for some, you know, potential scary plays if it doesn't work out? Some ambitious plays, right? Because, you know, they're facing grand final point if they let Avant go up to that 15th round.
Exactly right. You cannot be facing down something like that. Like, if you were to go into a one map advantage into a best of 5 as the upper bracket victors in the grand final, sure, Chiefs have been able to avoid Avant during the course of this competition, but it's not a team that they haven't played against before, and I feel like they've just given them way too much respect. That is a good nade right now. And now it looks like Avant, they're going to absolutely change the pace, move their way up towards the A site, and that is the first pick found. Now, hopefully, APOC Dud can do something, but no, Sterling is being the superior AWPer here, and now Zeph has to try and spot something out as well. Might be looking to jump up onto the side here. Sterling watching that close line, but looks like they've got the off angle. Very nice shot there from Zeph. Sterling waiting, and the bullets are starting to run out. Zeph, oh, he's overstayed his welcome. And now he's left it into a 1 versus 1, and now Humongous. Can he find it? Oh, Sterling go for the no-scope. Not quite. Close, but no cigar. But Dion, sure. Chiefs have won the round, right? But look at that money. It ain't great.
Yeah, that's true. I'm kind of, I'm a little bit weirded out by that round as well, you know. Missed shots coming out from Zeph, Avant giving in for the peaks and everything, Sterling just kind of sitting down and everything. I'm a little bit more surprised that the last player at short there, can't for the life of me remember who it was, I think it might have been Versa, peaks very late in that engagement. Like, if he hit and let Sterling die, then potentially could play the 1 versus 2, trying to deny from the short location. There was no real utility for the Chiefs to be able to work with in that retake, so in the end, you know, the Chiefs do win the round, which is really good for them and everything, but the buy, the money, as you say, is too famous for them. They've already lost to APOC Dud. Humongous has to go absolutely ham right now, but Hazard will take his hand up and through the smoke. Chiefs are looking to get a little bit more ambitious on the back of the side, but he only finds one. APOC is blind and finds 2 somehow, and now it's all down onto Yam. Can he show us the goods right now? He's been heard by the Tick of the Flame, and that is probably going to be Avant. Stealing away this 11th round here, maybe even the 12th, because the money for Chiefs is absolutely in the garbage can. And Avant, this is their way back in to chase that scoreline.
So that's Avant in a nutshell, right? Because look at the money now for the Chiefs. It's completely decimated. Avant knew that. They had the momentum behind them to go for something, you know, really, really hyper-aggressive. And Chiefs struggled, again, to lock down a position on the map where Avant were able to just throw absolutely everything to them. The previous round, it was down to a 1 versus 1 on the A site defense, despite Zeph going pretty big, but then unfortunately he overextended. And now in this position, it's down to 13-11, where Avant, they're about to pick up their 12th here very, very cleanly. Oh, the Chiefs are forced in. Oh, the Chiefs are forced in. I just realized.
Double eco, yeah. Double eco. I actually wonder why they've chosen to be honest with you. I wonder what the call has been for them to force into that with, you know, lackluster everything, essentially. It's weird, but it's like it's one of those things where they've made the decision. Let's try to back it. Let's see what they can do, right? But now they put essentially themselves onto a double eco. But it's worse in this round. They're going to be conceding potentially this 13th tied scoreline. Although if the short stack can get something happening, it could be some nice little pancakes that will add some maple syrup on top of for them. But Avant, they're going to gain free control of this B site. Hazard has found Humongous right now. Yeah, and the Heaton box maybe to find something if he can, but. Yeah, tied up 13-13. The Chiefs will then have a purchase, and what do you really look at them to do? Will they be able to bounce back into this game? Because Avant have taking control now, essentially.
Yeah, definitely. Zeph should go down here. The Molotov will be good to defend him. There we go. Has up. We'll be able to find it. Good smoke grenade to stop it. But now, 13-13. Crunch time. Do or die for the Chiefs roster. Of course, they win this map, right? It's tied up. We're 2-2. That is the ultimate result here. We will be going to that 5th map and taking this journey all the way through to the end together as one for the Let's Play Live Season 3 of 2020 Grand Final. But Offnu, he's actually going to move straight through to his demise. So a good start here from the Chiefs. They've been able to find the first opening pick, which they just need to hold on to this now because they can't really be looking towards potentially taking down the Avant economy. It's a pretty good situation that they're in right now. So they pretty much just have to go for gold and just be like, we are versing rifles time and time again. Let's see what we can do.
I think for the Chiefs right now, they just have to be relying upon this weaponry. You know, they've got Ape that no use really needed to win that duel against Hazard because all this util for Avant, it could catch the Chiefs up one way. They've caught some information. Hazard again, he's been so stable. He is an absolute god in the region. Everything that we've seen from him, he is just a beast to be reckoned with. There is his 3rd kill in the round, opening the opportunities for Avant to take the lead. And Zeph, Yam, they're going to be forced onto an eco right now for Chiefs to have a really lackluster purchase in the next round. That might be the 15th for Avant just then. And then it is literally match grand final season 3 point for Avant. I'm not going to call it yet because Conky hasn't sung, but it might look to turn out that way for Avant to find 15.
I feel so untouched that I need you so... Never mind.
DMCA, you're too good.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm just singing because this game is probably done, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately, because, like, look, regardless,
no weapons.
Again, Avant are the favorites, but I just can't help but wonder what this game could have looked like in an alternate universe, you know? Like, this game could have had the capacity to be so crazy, like, back and forth. You know, I expected this to go to map 5. Like, that's pretty much was a given, I was thinking. But yeah, look, man, the way that this has been played, like, these maps have gotten down to the wire, but it just doesn't feel like it, you know? We are 14-13.
Remember, though, that's sometimes how CS works. Like, from what we've been witnessing this whole season, I can't remember. I don't know how many times we've said that. A lot of the rounds that come down to the wire and the maps that are extremely crucial and the scorelines at the end of it and everything, yeah, the scoreline might look really close, but the rounds, you know, they don't really feel like it at the end of it. We dissect everything. There's been a lot of rounds which have been 1 versus X scenarios, 1 versus 1s, you know, a lot of pistol action coming on through and everything. It's been something to behold, and this grand final, Avant are just absolutely looking to have a ripper at it. The Chiefs now, 2 rounds to push overtime on Dust 2, mate. The double AWP setup is out. Avant have everything to work for.
That's it, and it's just me sort of sitting here thinking, you know, it's obviously such a contest between these two. Play from Vex's side, nice and aggressive in towards short, a very nice flash. Now Zeph watching the line, getting the jump off to Sterling. Here we go. Could we be moving down to the full regulation slot again? It's a three-man advantage. 5 versus 2. Versus been flooded out. We'll be able to recover the bomb. That's spotted on the other side of the boxes there, but oh man. What's Zeph going to be looking towards? He's done the big play by picking up the AWP again. Unfortunately, APOC hasn't really been the best on the AWP, and that's a really unfortunate situation there. The length shot to come out, but Yam's going to be able to lock it down. He's got the AWP. Will be able to recover the other AWP. Yes, he will. And out 14-15. Will the Chiefs take this to overtime? And if they do, will they have the gall to be able to drop Avant in that?
You think about it, though. If Chiefs lose this round, it's 2 16-14s in this grand final. So 50-50 coin flips. But Avant, don't take them away from it. No damage delivered by the axe coming on through. A little bit of a fun misery and mockery to come out. However, it looks like Zeph is going to go for an extra peek. He won't be able to find anything. APOC elevated. in Bedroom. You don't see this come out every day. I wonder if Humongous is even going to clear it. Avant, they're probably saying, let the Chiefs come into Bedroom. Let them push some aggressiveness out here. Although, from what we've seen, Chiefs haven't really done that too often. So they like to push up through short. They like containment to B. The Chiefs now, they have to be sweating likewise for Avant. They want to clean it out in regulation. They don't want to be dropping this one right now. It's going to be down to Sir Humongous in the pit. He hasn't got any teammate to assist, and he's being blinded. That's the first opener. Now it's on to Vex side. Does he boost his AWPing teammate up to the side? Of course he does. A minute to play with Avant, and they can relieve pressure at long if they want to. By all means, they have the rights to do so.
Apoc Dud needs to go huge here. But then again, at the exact same time, Avant, they don't need to move out. They don't have to overextend just yet. But ultimately, the Chiefs, they've settled. They haven't over-rotated. They haven't really started to move on up just yet. So they are going to just be continuing to lock it down for the time being. They are going to start to go down to the wire here. This is the opportunity that if it was Avant on this CT side, we would start to see players take the control, whereas Yam is just sort of sat there waiting, right? There's been no informational play to go out despite 30 seconds remaining. Apoc Dud's been legged. Will that nade come through? Not quite. How has he let him peek into him twice now? Sterling has found it. 20 seconds to go, and they are going to likely find this unless they can deny the plan. There is one. That is the bomb drop. Now there's an opportunity to find something. They're trying to get the plant down now. Apoc Dud is burning, but I think he's just got it. Oh my god. Now it's a 3 versus 3, but Versa is going to be able to find one towards top mid. They boosted up onto the side. Sterling's picked up another, but now Vexside's in an awkward situation, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen, despite it going to the wire, it is Avant that are going to be your victors. A smooth 3-0 or a 3-1 if we want to take into account that winning round for the Chiefs on the one map advantage. I am very, very proud of Avant. You know, they have done super well. They brought Versa into the fold. They've taken off the back away from the Chiefs, and ultimately they are your back-to-back MDL, then LPL victors here in the Oceanic region, leaving the CS on a high for the time being.
Nah, you're indeed correct about that one, Mitch. Very big congratulations to them, and a well-fought effort to the Chiefs as well to take 2 maps to 16-14. All 30 rounds to be played there as well, but in the end, it does ultimately slip through their fingers. Nuke, a map that, you know, we prop up. We probably should have seen the Chiefs be able to take that, but big efforts to come out from Avant, and they're able to claim that. They're able to send it home, and in Dust 2, very close as well. And I just got to say, man, like a ripper of a series where, as we mentioned, it felt a little bit disconnected at time with the close games, with the electricity and all those rounds, but in the end, that final round, that was a hot and heavy one. You know, the timing to get the bomb plant in those flames as well from Apoc to really help the situation. Stellar.
Very, very well done. And again, a massive congratulations to Avant. And look, the Chiefs, they're not going home empty-handed. They've certainly got to be a little bit hurt moving into that one where they haven't come through with the best of one map advantage. But tonight, and I feel like you can safely sort of say it now, right now, Avant, they're the better team. This point in time, they've solidified their 5, and they are going to be marching out with some really positive results for the remainder of the year. Matt, this is the final. It's all done. Wrap us up.
Oh, Conky, look, the final might be done, but we're not quite finished the show just yet. Avant might have got it all done today after their journey through the losers bracket to make